Chapter 266. Satoshi, can you sail in the sea? Suchin asked. If he wanted to hunt the sea demon beasts in the sea, he would need a carrier. If the intelligent chariot could sail in the sea, it would be much easier to hunt sea beasts. Master, I need to reach level 5 before I can sail in the sea. Suchin nodded. The intelligent chariot was at most level 3. 5. It was still far from level 5. If that was the case, he would have to think of other ways to hunt sea beasts. Suchin heaved a sigh of relief and did not dwell on this matter anymore. Food had to be eaten one mouthful at a time, and things had to be done one by one. First, he had to deal with the level 5 giant tortoise. The next day, the intelligent chariot drove towards a beach near the Forget Worries Ocean. The map on the central control screen showed that there was only one beach near the Forget Worries Ocean. The rest of the coast was filled with reefs and cliffs. Moreover, Suchin also noticed that there was a forest not far from the beach. This was basically the same as what the hunchback old man said. This meant that the beach was where the level 5 giant turtle sunbathed. When the intelligent chariot drove into the forest, Suchin asked it to stop. After saying a few words to the others, he went to the beach alone. The level 5 sea beasts were very powerful. To avoid any injuries, he decided to hunt them alone. As he came early, there was still some time before noon. Suchin strolled in the forest. After about half an hour, just as he was about to leave the forest and head to the beach, he heard light footsteps. Someone is coming? Suchin frowned and turned to look in the direction of the sound. Soon, 4 men and a woman appeared in his line of sight. When he saw their faces, Suchin was slightly stunned. Among the 5 of them, he happened to know one of them. It was the hunchback old man. Old man, you're here to dig for wild vegetables again. Suchin greeted him from afar. Hearing someone shouting, the hunchbacked old man looked around. When he saw that it was Suchin, a hint of surprise appeared on his face. Young man, why are you here? With that, he led the other 4 people to Suchin's side. Although he had only met Suchin once, his impression of Suchin was still very good. Suchin had only asked a few simple questions yesterday and had given a rich reward. His generosity made him feel a little embarrassed. I'm here to take a look at the level 5 giant tortoise, Suchin said with a smile. You can take a look, but don't get too close. The hunchbacked old man didn't think too deeply about it, and only gave a kind reminder. Suchin did not explain. He looked at the sky and asked, Old man, does that level 5 giant turtle come out to bask in the sun every day? It was already close to noon, but the level 5 giant tortoise was nowhere to be seen. This made him a little anxious. I've been here no less than 100 times. As long as the time is right, I can see it, the hunchbacked old man explained. That's good. Suchin nodded slightly and shifted his gaze to the beach. At this moment, there was a sudden surge in the sea. Immediately after, a huge figure emerged from the sea. The first thing that came into view was a huge tortoise shell with a diameter of more than 50 meters, like a small hill. It's finally out. Suchin was instantly excited, and his eyes were filled with a layer of heat. Chapter 267. Thump, thump. After the giant tortoise surfaced from the sea, it slowly walked towards the beach. With every step it took, it made a loud thud on the ground. It really is a level 5 sea demon beast. Suchin muttered to himself. His gaze never left the giant tortoise. Although he was far away, he could still feel the immense pressure emanating from the giant tortoise. Old man, do you know the name of this giant tortoise? Suchin asked the hunchbacked old man before the giant tortoise had completely climbed onto the beach. There were many different types of giant tortoises. Being able to reach level 5 meant that it was definitely a very powerful tortoise. I've heard someone mention it before. I think it's a heavenly overlord tortoise, the hunchbacked old man replied. The name sounds pretty impressive. I wonder how strong it is? Suchin muttered. He had only been in this world for a little more than a year, so he didn't know much. This was the first time he had heard of the heavenly overlord tortoise. When the hunchbacked old man and the others heard this mumble, they felt rather confused. The way he looked at Suchin also became strange. Judging from Suchin's tone, It seemed like he didn't care about the heavenly overlord tortoise at all. Young man, it's a level 5 sea demon beast. Moreover, it's unusually strong among level 5 beasts. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to chase away the tens of thousands of zombies in Blackstone City. A middle-aged man behind the hunchbacked old man reminded Su Chen. If that's the case, it does have some strength. Su Chen rubbed his nose, still looking unconcerned. Young man, don't tell me you're thinking about this giant tortoise? The hunchbacked old man probed. Although he felt that this idea was a little ridiculous, he still couldn't resist it. Su Chen smiled and didn't say anything. Instead, he turned his attention back to the heavenly overlord tortoise. At this moment, the heavenly overlord tortoise had already found a place to lie down on the beach and lazily basked in the sun. This guy sure knows how to enjoy himself. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched. He turned to the hunchbacked old man and said, "Old man, you'd better stay away. I'm going to catch a turtle." When fighting with a level 5 sea demon beast, the area affected was very wide. The hunchbacked old man and the others were all ordinary people. If they were too close, it would be easy for them to get injured. Su Chen kindly reminded them. "What do you mean? Are you going to hunt the heavenly overlord turtle?" The hunchbacked old man and the others were dumbfounded. They thought they had misheard. Could a level 5 heavenly profound tortoise be killed? Even a level 5 evolver would have to retreat if they saw it. Could Su Chen be a level 5 evolver? The answer was obvious. Su Chen looked less than 20 years old. Even if he was an evolver, he could not be that strong. Then what right did he have to boast that he wanted to kill a level 5 heavenly overlord turtle? This was 2F** king ridiculous. Even if he wanted to show off, he couldn't do it like this, right? However, when they saw Su Chen running toward the heavenly overlord turtle, they immediately realized that Su Chen was really going to hunt the heavenly overlord turtle. "Grandpa, is he crazy?" a little girl behind the hunchbacked old man screamed. "Even if he wants to die, he can't do it like this, right? Isn't it good to be alive? Why do you want to die? Is he crazy?" The other three men all agreed that Su Chen was definitely going to die. They all expressed their opinions. The hunchbacked old man looked at Su Chen and sighed deeply. What a good young man. Why does he have to do it like this? Chapter 268. On the other side, Su Chen ran towards the heavenly black tortoise at a moderate pace. When the two were less than 50 meters apart, the heavenly black tortoise seemed to have sensed something and opened its eyes slightly. In its line of sight, a young human was approaching it. At this moment, it had a very strange feeling in its heart. Is this human here to die? Or is he going to treat me as food? Thinking that it had just had a full meal and that this human was not enough to fill the gaps between its teeth, the heavenly black tortoise opened its mouth and spat out a water arrow that shot straight towards Su Chen. Although it did not know why Su Chen was there, as long as he dared to disturb its sleep, he would have to die. The power of the level 5 water arrow technique was no joke. Even a level 5 evolver would not have an easy time facing it. After shooting the water arrow, the heavenly black tortoise closed its eyes again. In its opinion, Su Chen was just a weak human and would not be able to resist the water arrow no matter what. He would definitely die. Is he going to die just like that? The hunchbacked old man in the forest in the distance seemed to be unable to bear to see Su Chen's miserable end. He sighed deeply and closed his eyes. He would not die if he did not seek death. How could he provoke the heavenly black tortoise? When the others saw that the heavenly black tortoise had released a spell attack, they shook their heads and sighed. They were certain that Su Chen would definitely die. When Su Chen saw a thick water arrow shooting straight towards him, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly, and he immediately used the golden scales on arms. When his arms shone with golden light, he punched the water arrow. There was a loud boom. The water arrow was smashed by the punch and turned into water droplets that shot out in all directions. The level 5 water arrow technique was very powerful. Even though it was smashed, it still smashed the surrounding ground, creating holes of various sizes. Su Chen bore the brunt of the impact and was covered by large amounts of water droplets. However, with the ancient god-fiend body, this power naturally could not hurt him at all. Countless water droplets splashed on his body and bounced off one after another, as if they were tickles. Seeing this scene, the people around the hunchbacked old man roared in shock. F***CK. He's too strong. He's also an evolver. But even an evolver can't shatter a level 5 water arrow with a single punch, right? Is he a level 6 evolver? Su Chen's smashing the water arrow technique with a single punch made them feel incomparably inconceivable and shocked. What was going on? The hunchbacked old man didn't understand what was going on. He quickly opened his eyes, and when he saw Su Chen appear in his line of sight, unscathed, his jaw dropped. He didn't die? Not even a level 5 spell could kill him. Am I seeing things, or does he really have the ability to resist a level 5 spell? For a moment, the hunchbacked old man's mind was in a mess. Su Chen shattered the water arrow and sped up toward the heavenly black tortoise. The mysterious heavenly overbearing tortoise, which had its eyes closed, suddenly heard footsteps that were getting clearer and clearer. Anger surged in its heart. Damn it! After killing one, another would come. How many reckless people were there in this world? Do they really think that I'm easy to bully? The heavenly black tortoise thought that Su Chen had been killed, and the approaching footsteps came from another person. However, when it opened its eyes and saw that it was still Su Chen, it was stunned. Why isn't he dead yet? Am I seeing things? The heavenly black tortoise felt that the scene in front of it was very unreal. One had to know that it had released a level 5 spell just now. Who could block it? Only a level 6 evolver could block the attack of a level 5 spell unscathed. How could this weak human in front of it be a level 6 evolver? This was the biggest joke in the world. Chapter 269. Unable to figure out what was going on, the heavenly overlord tortoise did not dwell on it any longer. This time, its murderous intent was aroused. It opened its mouth and shot out another water arrow. Compared to the previous one, the power of this water arrow technique was obviously much stronger. A weakling will always be a weakling. I'd like to see how you're going to block it this time. After shooting out the water arrow, the heavenly overlord tortoise revealed a cruel smile. In that pair of huge eyes, there was a look of contempt, as if Su Chen was already a dead man. The hunchbacked old man and the others in the forest stared intently at Su Chen. Previously, they found it unbelievable that Su Chen had destroyed the water arrow with a single punch. They did not want to believe it either. At this moment, they all wanted to see if Su Chen was still as brave as before. It's just a water arrow. It's just a small trick. You want to embarrass yourself in front of me? Seeing that there was a water arrow technique shooting towards him, Su Chen snorted coldly and immediately threw out another punch. Just like the first time, he chose to fight head-on. He had no intention of backing down. In the next moment, a golden fist slammed into the water arrow and smashed it into smithereens. My dear mother is here. He can really shatter a level 5 spell. How strong is his physical body? Is he still human? The people around the hunchbacked old man could not remain calm anymore. They shouted again. If Su Chen had shattered the water arrow the first time, they were still suspicious. However, this time, they had witnessed the entire process. The suspicion in their hearts disappeared without a trace. Shattering a level 5 spell twice in a row was definitely not luck. It was a reflection of true strength. Realizing this, the hunchbacked old man and the others fell into deep shock and daze. A human cultivator who was not even 20 years old could take a level 5 spell head-on with just his fists. Too powerful. Too awesome. Too unbelievable. Such a monster was unheard of. It only existed in legends. They never thought that they would be able to witness it with their own eyes today. So he wasn't trying to act tough, nor was he courting death. He had absolute strength. The hunchbacked old man's heart was in turmoil, unable to calm down for a long time. At first, they all thought that Su Chen was seeking his own death. However, reality slapped them hard in the face. Su Chen's strength was beyond doubt. He was truly a genius among geniuses, a monster among monsters. On the other side, the heavenly overlord tortoise swallowed hard when it saw its water arrow technique explode. The disdain in his eyes had disappeared and was replaced by fear. Without a doubt, Su Chen's strength had already caused it to feel a deep sense of fear. "Old turtle, you hit me twice, now it's my turn." The corners of Su Chen's mouth curled into a strange arc. Then, a purple light flashed under his feet. With a whoosh, he disappeared without a trace. His speed was as fast as a ghost. The heavenly overlord tortoise opened its mouth slightly, and its heart trembled violently. Su Chen's speed was too fast. It seemed to have completely surpassed the level of a level 5 evolver. It was the first time in its life that it had seen such speed. When it realized that Su Chen had disappeared, it realized that it was in danger. It quickly got up from the ground and looked around vigilantly. Soon, it discovered that Su Chen was charging at it from the side. "You're courting death." The heavenly overlord tortoise sneered in its heart. Although Su Chen was very strong, it was very advantageous for him to choose to fight in close combat. This was because it only needed to open its mouth to swallow Su Chen. At that time, no matter how powerful Su Chen was, he could only become its food. Chapter 270. Just as Su Chen was about to reach it, the heavenly overlord tortoise quickly turned its head and bit at Su Chen. It was as fast as lightning and appeared in front of Su Chen in an instant. If it moved a little closer, it would be able to swallow Su Chen whole. "Let's see how you escape this time." The heavenly overlord tortoise laughed proudly. At such a close distance, Su Chen had no time to dodge at all. He would definitely be swallowed. "You're too naive." Su Chen smiled contemptuously. When the heavenly overlord tortoise's mouth was about to bite him, he spread out his mentality. Level 4 mentality. The heavenly overlord tortoise was shocked. Level 4 mentality might not be able to restrain it, but it severely hampered its speed. It would be impossible for it to swallow Su Chen in one bite. Crunch. The heavenly overlord tortoise finally bit down, but it bit the air. It didn't even touch Su Chen's clothes. At this time, Su Chen had already appeared on top of the heavenly overlord tortoise's head. He held a pitch-black battle sword with both hands and slashed it down. It was like a god descending from the heavens. His power was unstoppable. Sensing the approaching aura of death, the heavenly overlord tortoise shrank back in fear. In the face of Su Chen's attack, it knew that the best way to deal with it was to shrink its head into its turtle shell and become a real turtle that retreated into its shell. However, Su Chen's attack was too fast. It didn't even have time to react. The heavenly overlord tortoise had no choice but to open its mouth and spit out a water arrow to block the attack. Rip. The moment the water arrow shot out, it was split in half by the enchanted sword. "It's over." The heavenly overlord tortoise's heart turned cold when it saw the water arrow being split apart like paper. Su Chen slashed down with his sword. Clang! The heavenly overlord tortoise had a huge gash on its head. Blood splattered everywhere, and even its skull was shattered. After suffering such a heavy blow, the heavenly profound overlord tortoise only felt a splitting headache as its brain rumbled incessantly. After swaying a few times, it crashed heavily onto the ground, causing the ground to tremble uncontrollably. However, although it was heavily injured, it did not die. It was not to say that his defense was strong enough to withstand this strike. It was because Su Chen wanted to keep it alive, so he withdrew most of his strength halfway. Otherwise, this slash would have directly cut off its head. Su Chen stepped on the heavenly overlord turtle's head and said in an icy voice, "Old turtle, I'll give you a chance to live. Be my spirit pet and I won't kill you." If he wanted to hunt sea monsters in the Forget Worries Ocean, he needed a carrier. Thus, he planned to keep the heavenly overlord turtle as his spirit pet. The heavenly overlord turtle's body was huge, and it was also very powerful. With its help, killing the sea monsters would be as easy as pie. No matter how big the Forget Worries Ocean was, it was free to roam. Moreover, if he wanted to leave Chinyu Island in the future and head to other islands or the mysterious heavenly mainland, he would have to enter the ocean. The dangers in the ocean were unknown. With the heavenly overlord turtle as his mount, it would definitely increase his safety. Upon hearing this, the heavenly overlord turtle's big eyes rolled around. As a level 5 sea monster, its intelligence had long been activated. Naturally, it could understand the meaning of Su Chen's words. However, a level 5 sea monster had its dignity. Moreover, it was the overlord of the Forget Worries Ocean. Naturally, it would not be willing to become someone's spirit pet. Under Su Chen's cold gaze, the heavenly overlord turtle retracted its head into its shell and turned around to fly toward the Forget Worries Ocean. It had calculated very clearly that as long as it escaped into the ocean, Su Chen would not be able to do anything to it. The idea was good, but the reality was cruel. Would Su Chen give it this chance? The answer was obvious. Su Chen's face was full of sarcasm. Then, he raised his hands and shot an icicle and a green ball of light at the heavenly overlord turtle. It froze on the spot. Chapter 271. The sight of the heavenly overlord tortoise scampering away felt surreal to the hunchbacked old man and the others. The overlord of the Forgotten Worries Ocean, an existence that could crush tens of thousands of zombies in Blackrock City, was being beaten into a coward by a human? Did it not care about its dignity as a level 5 sea monster? Or was Su Chen really powerful enough to crush a level 5 sea monster? On the other side, half of the heavenly overlord tortoise's body was frozen after being hit by the icicle. Its limbs were also entangled by vines and it could not move at all. Although the icicle spell and the wood element entanglement spell were only level 4, they had combined with their conjured objects, and their power had surpassed level 5 spells. It was reasonable that the heavenly overlord tortoise could be pinned to the ground by these two spells. He's a psychic master, and a dual elemental psychic master. Realizing this, the heavenly overlord tortoise's heart was filled with a deep sense of fear. Previously, Su Chen had already displayed the strength of a psychic master and an evolver. Now, he had also released spells. This proved that Su Chen was a full-time cultivator. Moreover, they had all reached level 4 and above. Facing a monster like Su Chen, the heavenly overlord tortoise felt a deep sense of powerlessness. It knew that if it continued to stubbornly resist, it would only be waiting to be slaughtered. So, it simply stopped struggling. "Old tortoise, why don't you run?" Su Chen had a mocking look on his face as he slowly walked up to it. Woo woo, the heavenly overlord tortoise lowered its head and crawled at Su Chen's feet. It hoped to use this method to obtain Su Chen's forgiveness. It was also a clear indication of their willingness to submit. Su Chen originally wanted to teach it a lesson, but seeing how pitiful the heavenly overlord tortoise was and how tactful it was, he did not lower himself to its level. After a while, he took out a bottle of pet potion from his storage bag and fed it to the heavenly overlord tortoise. Soon, the heavenly overlord tortoise became docile. It looked at Su Chen with reverence. Su Chen retracted the ice and wood element spells and patted the heavenly overlord tortoise's huge head. He whispered, "Overlord, wait for me here. Don't go anywhere." Since he had taken the heavenly overlord tortoise, he naturally had to change the way he called it. The name, Xiaoba, was very appropriate. Woo-woo. The heavenly overlord tortoise kept nodding. It looked just like a pet tortoise. After subduing the heavenly overlord turtle and obtaining a mount, Su Chen's next step was to go out to sea and hunt for sea monsters. Before that, he had to bring Wu Yang and the others with him. Then, Su overlord tortoises. When they passed through the forest, the hunchbacked old man and the others came up to greet them. Their attitudes were extremely respectful, and they kept calling out, "Senior." Lord of Overlord Tortoise of Lin was. After seeing Su Chen's strength, how would he dare to use the previous title to talk to Su Chen? Su Chen smiled. "Old man, just call me Su Chen. Is there anything else?" "Did you subdue the heavenly overlord tortoise?" Luz's overlord tortoise probed. The reason why he asked this question was purely out of curiosity. "It's my spirit pet now," Su Chen replied. "If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." "No problem," Luz overlord tortoise hurriedly replied. When Su Chen disappeared from sight, the little girl beside Luz overlord tortoise clicked her tongue. "Grandpa, Big Brother is too powerful. He can even subdue the heavenly overlord tortoise." Luz overlord tortoise nodded. Subduing a level 5 demonic beast was much more difficult than killing one. It was obvious that Su Chen's overlord tortoise was more terrifying than they had imagined. Chapter 272. Su Chen passed through the woods and quickly returned to the intelligent war chariot. "Qinggu, did you kill the giant turtle?" Chao Ran asked with a smile. "No." Su Chen shook his head. "Didn't kill it?" The people in the chariot were confused. Su Chen had always been invincible in their eyes. Could it be that the giant turtle was so powerful that even Su Chen couldn't do anything to it? "Qinggu, did you let that giant tortoise get away?" Yang Hao voiced out his thoughts. He thought the giant turtle must have run away because it couldn't defeat Su Chen. "I took it as a spiritual pet," Su Chen explained with a smile. "Took it as a spiritual pet? A level 5 sea monster could be taken as a spiritual pet?" Everyone was surprised. Generally speaking, the more powerful a mutant beast was, the harder it was to tame it. It was rare to tame a level 5 mutant beast as a spiritual pet. In addition, everyone was a little excited. Because of the addition of a level 5 mutant beast, their strength had undoubtedly increased by a large margin. Wu Yang seemed to have thought of something. He frowned slightly and said to Su Chen, "Su Chen, is that giant turtle really the size of a house?" "It's much bigger than an ordinary house." Su Chen nodded. "It's so big that it can't fit in the chariot," Wu Yang reminded. The intelligent war chariot was only about 50 meters at its largest state. It might not be as big as the giant turtle, so it definitely couldn't fit in. Since it couldn't fit, how could they bring this big guy with them? Could they let it follow them around every day? However, it was a sea monster after all. Could it be fine if it left the sea for a long time? Su Chen had already considered this point. He had a pet breeding space. As long as he leveled up a few more times, the space would be big enough to place the heavenly overlord turtle inside. "Don't worry, I have my ways." Su Chen smiled and then told them about his plan to go to the Forget Worries Sea to hunt sea monsters. Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard that they were going to hunt sea beasts. They had lived inland since they were young and had only heard of the sea, but had never seen it. This time, when he went to hunt the sea beasts, he would be able to see the magnificence of the sea. "Qinggu, when are we leaving?" Yang Hao was a little impatient. "Let's go now," Su Chen replied and ordered the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, head to the beach." The intelligent war chariot started and drove straight to the beach. While passing through the forest, Su Chen did not see the stooped old man and the others. He must have returned to Blackrock City. Not long after, the intelligent war chariot arrived in front of the heavenly king turtle. After everyone got out of the car and saw the huge monster in front of them, they all gasped. Before they came, they already knew that the heavenly black turtle was a big fellow. However, after seeing it with their own eyes, they were still extremely shocked. "Little turtle, they are all my friends. You have to get along well with each other in the future." Su Chen walked forward and stroked the heavenly overlord tortoise's head as he instructed. The heavenly black turtle made a woo sound as if it was greeting everyone. "This big fellow is so cute." Tan Lin's interest was piqued. He imitated Su Chen and stroked the heavenly black turtle's big head. The others also followed suit and had a close encounter with the heavenly overlord turtle. Yang Hao and Chao Ran climbed up the turtle shell and looked into the distance. Su Chen returned to the car and contacted the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, can you fix yourself on the turtle shell?" Considering that there was a certain risk in going out to sea to hunt sea monsters, if he could continue to stay in the car, he would not have to worry about his safety. Chapter 273. I can make 4 suction cups and attach them to the turtle shell, but I need to upgrade it first, the intelligent war chariot said. "How many energy stones do I need to upgrade it?" Su Chen's eyes lit up. "I need 20 level 2 energy stones." Su Chen did not lack energy stones now, and he had quite a number of level 2 energy stones. Then he took out 20 level 2 energy stones and placed them in the groove below the central control screen. A minute later, the energy stones disappeared. The intelligent war chariot said, "Master, the upgrade is complete." "Okay, turn into your smallest form later, and I'll bring you to the top of the turtle shell," Su Chen said as he got out of the car. According to Su Chen's instructions, The intelligent war chariot quickly shrunk to the size of a palm. Su Chen grabbed it and climbed onto the heavenly overlord tortoise's shell. Then he put it down. Satoshi, turn into a 30-meter-long form and attach it to the turtle shell. The intelligent war chariot slowly grew bigger. When it was 30 meters long, four suction cups extended from the bottom of the car and firmly attached it to the turtle shell. Su Chen pushed it with his hand, but the intelligent war chariot did not move at all, as if it had become one with the turtle shell. Su Chen was relieved. After a while, he called everyone into the car and ordered the heavenly overlord turtle, "Little overlord, enter the sea and hunt the sea beasts." Woo-woo. The heavenly overlord turtle responded and crawled toward the Forget Worries ocean. Su Chen stood in front of the car, squinted his eyes, and looked out. The Forget Worries ocean was different from the ocean he saw in his previous life. The ocean in his previous life was blue, but the ocean here was dark, giving off a gloomy feeling. Su Chen did not care about that. What he cared about was the number of sea beasts. Then he shifted his gaze to the central control screen. There were tens of thousands of red dots on the central control screen. Seeing that, Su Chen's face was full of smiles. However, in the next moment his smile froze. He stared at the central control screen and muttered, "What's going on? Why are all the sea beasts running away?" The central control screen clearly showed that the red dots were rapidly moving away from him. Moreover, no matter where the heavenly overlord tortoise swam, the sea monsters would flee. It was as if they knew in advance that someone would hunt them down. This situation was very strange, and it drove Su Chen crazy. The sea beasts were all avoiding him. How was he going to kill them? How could it drop fragments? What's wrong? Su Chen racked his brains. Suddenly, he thought of something. He opened the car door and shouted at the heavenly overlord turtle, "Little overlord, retract your aura. If you dare to leak even a little, I'll stew you." As a level 5 demonic beast, the heavenly overlord turtle was an existence that could do whatever it wanted in the Forgotten Worries ocean. If he didn't restrain his aura, those weak sea beasts would be scared out of their wits. Which sea demon beast would be so tired of living that it would dare to stay where it was and wait for the heavenly profound overlord tortoise to kill it? After being scolded by Su Chen, the heavenly profound overlord turtle trembled in fear. It quickly retracted its aura. Soon, it seemed to have turned into a lifeless boulder. Su Chen nodded in satisfaction and looked at the central control screen. Sure enough, it was just as he had guessed. Since they could not sense the heavenly profound overlord turtle's aura, those sea monsters stopped running away. Su Chen found a group of about 3,000 sea monsters. He then instructed the heavenly profound overlord turtle, "Little overlord, change direction and head to the left." Chapter 274. The group of sea beasts was 30 kilometers to the left. The heavenly overlord turtle was extremely fast, and it was only a few hundred meters away from the group of sea beasts in less than 10 minutes. Since the heavenly overlord turtle had restrained its aura and pressure, the group of sea beasts did not sense the approaching danger. Su Chen did not have any experience in hunting sea beasts, but he knew that once the group of sea beasts sensed danger, they would definitely flee in all directions. Therefore, once the hunt began, he had to use thunderous means. After thinking about it, he felt that the combination of the thunderstorm technique and the magnetic storm net of the intelligent war chariot should cause huge casualties to the sea beasts. Then, he communicated with the intelligent war chariot and decided on a strategy. When the heavenly overlord turtle was less than 30 meters away from the group of sea beasts, the group of sea beasts sensed the approaching danger and began to flee. Su Chen and the intelligent war chariot also attacked at the same time. Thunderballs shot out from Su Chen's hands and quickly fell into the group of sea beasts. Then, there was a violent explosion, setting off stormy waves, and tens of thousands of lightning bolts wreaked havoc. The strongest sea beasts in this group of sea beasts were only at level 2. How could they resist the thunderstorm technique combined with the wild thunder technique? In the blink of an eye, hundreds of sea beasts died on the spot. The blood that flowed out dyed the dark sea red. On the other side, the intelligent war chariot was also continuously releasing the magnetic storm net. Seawater could conduct electricity, which undoubtedly increased the power of the magnetic storm net. As long as the magnetic storm net covered the area, no sea beasts could escape with their lives. They all became charred corpses. The people in the car could not help but be excited when they saw the thousands of sea beasts' corpses floating on the sea surface. At the same time, they were secretly amazed by the killing speed of Su Chen and the intelligent war chariot. If it were them, they would not even be able to kill 1/10 of the sea beasts. After a few minutes, the killing stopped. More than 2,000 sea beasts had been killed. As the remaining sea beasts had scattered and fled, Su Chen did not continue to chase after them. This was his first time hunting, so he was quite satisfied with his harvest. "Xiao Ba, swim over," Su Chen ordered. After the hunt was over, it was time to dig out the energy stones and pick up the fragments. Since the sea demon beasts had died in large numbers, most of them had gathered together. Therefore, the following work had become much easier. After the heavenly overlord tortoise swam past, everyone got out of the car and started to fish out the corpses of the sea monsters. The sea beasts that were killed were all of the same species, and they all looked a little strange. It had a fish head and a fish body. It was more than a meter long, but it had 4 limbs under its belly. It looked neither fish nor fowl. "Qinggu, what should we do with these corpses?" Yang Hao dug out an energy stone from the corpse of a sea demon beast and asked Su Chen. The sea demon beasts were edible, but there were more than 2,000 of them. The intelligent war chariot couldn't fit them all. Su Chen thought for a moment and replied, "Stay here. I'll deal with it later." If it was in the past, he would only leave behind a few dozen at most. However, things were different now. There was an additional heavenly overlord tortoise. This guy looked like a foodie just by looking at its body. He had to store more food. "Got it, Qinggu." Yang Hao replied and continued to fish out the sea monsters. Su Chen began to pick up the fragments. This time, more than 300 fragments were dropped. There were fragments of various colors. They intertwined with each other and appeared colorful. They were shiny and dazzling. Su Chen glanced at them and a purple-gold fragment soon appeared in his sight. Chapter 275. Su Chen suppressed his excitement and grabbed it. Picked up 2,000 energy points, fragment *111. The fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. After saying that, Su Chen opened the Doomsday Mall and checked it. When he saw that the energy points had reached 5,400 points, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. 5,000 energy points could be exchanged for Blade of Divine Sense, and now it had exceeded the exchange amount. Blade of Divine Sense was also something that Su Chen was determined to get, and he had an impulse to exchange for it immediately. However, in the end, he resisted the urge, because there was still Heavenly Hundredfold Strength Technique in front of it. Comparing the two, he still chose Heavenly Hundredfold Strength Technique. Therefore, the Blade of Divine Sense could only be moved back a little. Closing the Doomsday Mall, Su Chen continued to pick up fragments. The second was a black fragment. Picked up Torpedo Launcher, fragment *110. The fragments are not full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Torpedo Launcher was something that appeared for the first time. Considering that it was hunting good beasts in the sea, if he could collect enough Torpedo Launcher and install it on the intelligent chariot, he would definitely be able to hunt more sea beasts. Su Chen was a little tempted. Torpedo Launcher was useful now. If the remaining fragments could not be collected, he planned to exchange for it through the Doomsday Mall. In short, he would not miss anything that could help him hunt sea beasts. After calming himself down, he grabbed one of the black fragments. Picked up Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword, fragment *111. The fragments are not full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword was a weapon from the name, and it was definitely a very powerful weapon. Because the number of fragments needed to be collected reached 100, which was equivalent to the ancient God-Fiend body. The enchanted divine saber that Su Chen obtained earlier, although it was only exchanged for 3 fragments, was very powerful. Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword required 100 fragments, which was more than 30 times the enchanted Divine Saber. From this, it could be inferred that the Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword must be a powerful magic weapon. Originally, he planned to exchange for the Through Heaven Hundredfold Vigorous Strength technique first, but the appearance of the Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword made him a little uncertain. Suchen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He didn't want to be entangled in this aspect. There was still a gap of nearly 5,000 energy points. There was no point in thinking too much now. Then he continued to pick up the fragments. Picked up, hard fruit, fragment *111. The fragment is full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Exchange for energy points. Picked up, upgrade gem, fragment *111. The fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Picked up, torpedo launcher, fragment X1, 1010. Full of fragments, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Suchen was extremely excited. An hour later, all the fragments were collected, and the last fragment was the torpedo launcher. Previously he had collected 9 fragments, and with this one he had reached the standard to use it. As soon as he obtained the torpedo launcher, Suchen consumed a fusion gem and installed it on the intelligent war vehicle. As the name suggested, the torpedo launcher was used to launch torpedoes. Each torpedo required 100 energy stones to be converted. There was no level limit to the energy stones. Regardless of whether it was an ordinary energy stone or a high-level energy stone, the power of the torpedo was the same. A single torpedo could kill 300 sea demon beasts below level 3. Chapter 276. After installing the torpedo launcher, Suchen took out all the upgrade gems and expanded the storage bag to 200 cubic meters in one breath. Then he began to collect the corpses of the sea monsters. 2 hours later, all the energy stones were dug out, and the corpses of the sea monsters were all collected into the storage bag. Suchen began to look for the traces of the sea monsters. Soon, he found a group of about 1,000 sea monster beasts, and they were 10 kilometers away. Satoshi, lock onto the position of the sea monsters and prepare to launch the torpedoes. In order to test the power of the torpedo launcher, Suchen decided to let the intelligent war chariot take action. The torpedo launcher's maximum range was 50 kilometers, which was enough to hit the group of sea monsters. Master, how many torpedoes should we launch? The intelligent war chariot asked Suchen. 1 torpedo was equivalent to 100 energy stones, so the consumption was quite high. Logically speaking, 3 torpedoes should be enough to wipe out the group of sea monsters. However, to be safe, Suchen still decided to use 4 torpedoes. 4 torpedoes were worth 400 energy stones. If he could get 1,000 energy stones by killing 1,000 sea demon beasts, it would be a profitable deal. Satoshi, launch 4 torpedoes. Suchen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot locked onto the target and launched 4 torpedoes in a row. Each torpedo was more than 5 meters long. After falling into the water, they disappeared under the sea and quickly rushed toward the group of sea monsters. Suchen and the others waited patiently. Soon, 4 violent explosions came from the front, and then 4 monstrous waves soared into the sky. Wu Yang and the others were stunned, and their faces were filled with excitement. The intelligent war chariot had such a powerful killing weapon, which meant that it could kill even more sea demon beasts. Suchen glanced at the central control screen. When he saw more than 1,000 red dots disappear, the corners of his mouth rose slightly. The disappearance of the red dots meant that all the sea monsters were killed. Xiaoba, let's go. Suchen ordered. Woo woo. The heavenly overlord tortoise responded. It flipped its 4 claws and broke through the waves. It swam toward the place where the sea monster beast had been killed. Although his body was huge, his swimming speed was very fast. After 10 minutes, he arrived at his destination. Seeing thousands of good demon beast corpses floating on the surface of the sea, without waiting for Suchen's order, Yang Hao and the others began to move. Suchen was not in a hurry to pick up the fragments. He first glanced at them to determine the number. There were more than 100 of them this time, which was more or less what he had expected. Since he didn't find any valuable fragments, he started to pick up the ones closest to him. The first one was a green fragment. Picked up, walking on level ground and wave treading technique, fragment *1, 1-3. The fragment is not full, so it cannot be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After saying that, Su Chen was a little moved. From the name of the wave treading technique, it seemed that one could walk on water. If that was the case, wouldn't he be able to swim freely in the Forgotten Worries Sea? With this thought in mind, Su Chen opened the Doomsday Mall and checked the exchange points for the walking on level ground and wave treading technique. When he saw that one fragment was worth 10 energy points, he spent 20 energy points to exchange for 2 fragments without hesitation. After the number was gathered, he received a feedback message. As expected, the walking on level ground and wave treading technique could really allow one to walk on water. Moreover, there would be no consumption during the process of walking. It was as if it was an innate talent. Chapter 277. Su Chen took a deep breath and stepped on the surface of the sea. He felt that there was something soft under his feet, as if he was stepping on grass. It was very comfortable. Through this step, he proved that he could walk on the surface of the sea. After a while, he strode into the sea as if he was walking on flat ground. Sherdaniu was dragging a sea monster up when he suddenly saw a figure in front of him. Someone can walk on the sea? Sherdaniu's head buzzed. He thought that he was seeing things, so he quickly looked at the figure. When he saw that someone was walking on the sea and it was Su Chen, he was dumbfounded. Sherdaniu's mouth was wide open, and he was completely dumbfounded. Daniu, what's wrong? Hurry up. Chao Ran, who was beside him, saw that Sherdaniu was in a daze and reminded him. Sherdaniu came back to his senses and pointed at Su Chen. He said in a trembling voice, "Brother Chao, Chengu is walking on the sea." "What nonsense are you talking about?" Chao Ran didn't think much of it, but he still looked in the direction Sherdaniu was pointing. When he saw that Su Chen was indeed walking on the sea, his eyes almost popped out. He exclaimed, "Oh my God, Chengu can walk on the sea." What was that? Su Chen could walk on the sea? The others looked at the sea with doubts. In his line of sight, Su Chen seemed to be stepping on flat ground. He walked here and there, reaching down from time to time to grab something. Seeing this, they were all dumbfounded. Standing on the sea as if walking on flat ground, this was too amazing and too incredible. After a long time, Wu Yang couldn't help but ask Su Chen loudly, "Su Chen, how did you do it?" Su Chen knew what Wu Yang was asking. A meaningful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "This is a talent of mine. I didn't have the chance to show it before, but it came in handy today." Talent? Was there such a miraculous talent in this world? Why didn't we? Wu Yang and the others shook their heads. They all knew that talent was something that one was born with. There was no point in being jealous. Moreover, it was not surprising that it appeared on Su Chen. This was because Su Chen himself was an extraordinary person. It could also be said that he was a person who created miracles. There was nothing that Su Chen couldn't do. Yang Hao and Chao Ran looked at each other and exclaimed at the same time, "Chengu, you're awesome." After this brief interlude, everyone continued to salvage the corpses of the sea beasts. Since Su Chen could walk freely on the sea, the speed at which he picked up the shards was much faster. In less than half an hour, all the fragments had been collected. Then he began to collect the corpses of the sea beasts and stored them in his storage pouch. After working for an hour, everyone returned to the intelligent war chariot. After killing 2 waves of sea demon beasts in a row, everyone was a little tired. Moreover, the sky had darkened. Su Chen decided to call it a day. Then he took out the universal oven and some good sea beasts' corpses and prepared dinner. At this moment, the intelligent war chariot suddenly contacted Su Chen. "Master, I found a large number of thunderstorm stones on a small island 50 kilometers away." "What's the use of thunderstorm stones?" Su Chen asked. "The intelligent war chariot has the ability to detect ores. Last time, It detected the star-gathering stone on Zhou Yun's body. After obtaining the star-gathering stone, it upgraded the magnetic storm net to level 3 in one fell swoop. He couldn't help but wonder if the thunderstorm stones also had this function. Chapter 278. The thunderstorm stone can increase the power of the magnetic storm net and the torpedo. It can also help me create a new offensive weapon, the thunderbolt beam, the intelligent war chariot explained. Su Chen's eyes lit up when he heard that. The thunderstorm stone was obviously more useful than the star-gathering stone. He was determined to get such a good thing. After a while, Su Chen looked at the central control screen and observed the island. The central control screen did not show the name of the island, which meant that it was a deserted island. However, to Su Chen's surprise, there was a black spot on the island. "There's an alien creature here," Su Chen narrowed his eyes and muttered. Up until now, he had encountered quite a few types of non-human creatures. It could be said that every time he encountered an alien creature, he would more or less gain something. He was looking forward to seeing this alien creature on the island. However, it was late now, so he decided to go to the island tomorrow to explore. "Qingge, the sea monster's meat is ready. It's delicious. Come and eat." It was also at this moment that Yang Hao shouted. Su Chen withdrew his gaze and walked straight forward. For the rest of the time, everyone sat together eating barbecued meat and chatting happily. The next morning, Su Chen stood in front of the central control screen and began to look for the whereabouts of the sea monsters. Soon he found several groups of sea monsters. One of them had more than 1,000 sea monsters and was less than 30 kilometers away from the island. Su Chen planned to go to the island alone and let the others continue to hunt the sea monsters. And this group of sea monsters not far from the deserted island was just right for the job. Then, Su Chen gave the Heavenly Overlord Turtle an order. Their target was the group of sea monsters. On the way, he told Wu Yang and the others about going to the deserted island. When they were close to the deserted island, they separated and went to the group of deserted islands alone. The Heavenly Overlord Turtle continued to lead the others to hunt the sea monsters. Su Chen flew on the sea for more than 10 minutes before he set foot on the deserted island. The area of this deserted island wasn't very large. At a glance, it was about 2,000 square meters. There was no vegetation on it, only bare stones. It looked very desolate. Su Chen was not in a hurry to find the alien creature. Instead, he decided to look for the thunderstorm stone first. Since he did not know the exact location of the thunderstorm stone, he could only walk around. As he walked, he released his mind power and penetrated into the ground to search. However, after walking for a while, he did not find any thunderstorm stones. Instead, he discovered something very strange. There were a large number of skeletons buried under the island. Most of them belonged to mutant beasts, but there were also quite a number of human skeletons. One of them was especially large. It was unknown what kind of mutated beast it was when it was alive. Its size was comparable to the Heavenly Overlord Turtle. In addition, the closer they got to the center of the island, the more skeletons there were. Could it be that the creature here is a member of the blood race? Su Chen muttered. Previously, on the way to Blackrock City, he had also discovered a large number of skeletons. It was very likely the work of the blood race. When he thought of this, he began to suspect that the creature here might also be a member of the blood race. After pondering for a while, Su Chen walked straight to the center of the island. When he reached the center, he saw a huge rock lying on the ground like a small mountain. Moreover, on the side of the huge rock, there was a cave. It was completely dark inside. Just as Su Chen was about to release his mind power to investigate, a ghostly howl came from the cave. It's a human. I haven't eaten fresh human flesh for a long time. I miss it. Chapter 279. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said indifferently, "It's been a few days since I've killed a member of the mutated race. I miss it very much." The other party wanted to show off in front of him. Was that possible? With one sentence, he suppressed the other party's arrogance. "You're from the undead race?" "No, you're clearly from the human race. Why do you speak the language of the undead race?" A man's hoarse questioning voice came from the cave. Su Chen was slightly stunned. He originally thought that the person in the cave would be from the Blood Clan. He never thought that it would be from the undead race. However, no matter which race he was from, he was not afraid at all. Pursing his lips, Su Chen said disdainfully, "I'm proficient in the languages of thousands of races. A mere undead race is nothing." Arrogant. Soon, an angry roar came from the cave. Then, a figure slowly walked out from inside. As he walked, he threatened, "Boy, you've successfully angered me. I'll make you beg for death." When he saw the appearance of the person, Su Chen's eyelids twitched violently. What appeared in front of him was not a human at all. It was a white skeleton. The skeleton held a thick animal bone in its hand. 2 balls of green flames danced in its 2 deep eye sockets. It gave off a very strange feeling. Su Chen sized it up. His eyes gradually narrowed and he snorted, "Are all the members of the undead race like you?" Hearing this, the flames in the eyes of the undead race jumped violently. Then he said fiercely, "Boy, the undead race is not for a weakling like you to humiliate. You'll pay a heavy price for this." Su Chen pursed his lips and said sarcastically, "Do you mean that as long as you're strong, you can humiliate the undead race?" After being teased by Su Chen, the undead race was about to explode. He roared, "Boy, I want you dead." With that, he pointed the animal bone in his hand at the ground. A white light shot out from it. In an instant, it sank into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Just when Su Chen was a little confused, he suddenly felt the ground tremble. At first, it was relatively mild, but as time passed, it became more and more intense. In the end, he could only hear the sound of something breaking through the ground. What was that sound? Su Chen scanned the area and saw hundreds of skeletons of different sizes. Obviously, these white bones were the ones he had seen underground. In the face of such a strange situation, Su Chen's expression changed slightly, but he quickly recovered. Then he looked at the undead and said disdainfully, "Is this what you're relying on?" "Hee." The undead man smiled gloomily and said in a cold voice, "Boy, let's see how long you can pretend." From beginning to end, Su Chen had a calm expression, as if he didn't put him in his eyes at all. This made the undead race very unhappy. Although he couldn't figure out Su Chen's background, Su Chen was young and a weak human. He thought that Su Chen was definitely not a powerful person. The calmness he was showing now was completely pretentious. "Little ones, kill him for me." The undead race didn't intend to talk to Su Chen anymore. He stretched out his hand and pointed at Su Chen, shouting loudly. Receiving the order of the undead race, all the white bones launched an attack on Su Chen together. The one who rushed to the front was a human skeleton. He clenched his fist and smashed it at Su Chen. Su Chen stood in place, motionless, and had no intention of dodging or defending. This was because he had already perceived that the strongest among those white bones was only a level 2 evolver. Most of the rest were level 1 evolvers. He had the ancient god demon body and was invincible among his peers. How could a mere level 1 or level 2 evolver hurt him? Chapter 281. Now it's my turn. Su Chen sneered. He moved his feet and charged toward the undead race. This time, he had already activated the E-Continue battle boots. His speed soared to the extreme. Like a ghost, he instantly appeared in front of the undead race. The undead race was scared out of his wits, and the corners of his mouth trembled. Su Chen's speed had completely exceeded the speed of a level 5 evolved person. He didn't even have time to withdraw his spirit power to defend himself before he saw a golden fist coming toward him. But, Kacha, Su Chen's fist hit the undead race's chest, blowing up half of his body. Although the undead race was a level 5 spirit reader master, his body was only slightly stronger than an ordinary person's. Facing Su Chen's violent attack, he naturally couldn't block it. The undead screamed and fell heavily to the ground. The remaining half of his skeleton broke apart, and his head was separated from his body. Su Chen walked forward and looked at the undead race with interest. He said lightly, "You undead race are quite capable. You've been beaten to this state, but you're still alive." Although the undead race in front of him only had a head left, the two flames in his eye sockets had not extinguished. They were still exuding a faint breath of life. "Human, let me go. I can give you something in exchange," the undead race said weakly. The arrogant and conceited attitude from before had completely disappeared and was replaced by a deep sense of fear. "Tell me, what is it?" Suchin rubbed his nose. The undead race was now a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. The reason why he didn't make a move was because he was a little suspicious of the thing the undead race was talking about. Was it the thunderstorm stone? If it was, he wouldn't have to look around and would save a lot of time. "I'll use 100 thunderstorm stones to buy my life," the undead race said, gritting his teeth. Although the thunderstorm stone was precious, it was nothing compared to his life. If he could buy a life, it would be very cost-effective. However, he was obviously thinking too much. With Su Chen's style of doing things, how could he let him live? "Tell me the whereabouts of the thunderstorm stone, and I'll give you a quick death." Su Chen stared at the undead clan. His voice was as cold as ice, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Hee. In the face of Su Chen's threat, the undead sneered instead. "You want me to hand over the thunderstorm stone? You're delusional." Since Su Chen was unwilling to let him go, why should he hand over the thunderstorm stone? He was going to die anyway. Before he died, he had to make Su Chen suffer. "You are very courageous. I hope you can continue to be so stubborn." Su Chen's face turned gloomy. As soon as he finished speaking, he stretched out his hand and flicked a ray of lightning at the head of the undead race. A lightning-type spell. "You're a Dharma psychic?" The undead race had just come up with this idea when he was struck by this ray of lightning and cried out. Although Su Chen had only released a small amount of lightning-type magical power, after all, it contained the power of the divine thunder of desolation, and its lethality could not be underestimated. After suffering a round of lightning and thunder, the aura of the undead race slipped rapidly, and he became extremely dispirited. The flames in his eye sockets also dimmed, as if they were about to be extinguished. Su Chen did not say much. He raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Suddenly, a small scarlet flame sprang out between his fingers. Although it was only a small ball, the power of fire it contained was still unusually violent. "I'll see how long you can use your mouth." The corners of Su Chen's mouth curled slightly, and he was about to flick out the flame. "I said in the cave, give me a quick death." The undead race was really scared this time and told the truth. Chapter 282. Su Chen released his mind power and extended it into the cave. Soon, he found a small pile of ores that emitted lightning waves. Now that he had found the whereabouts of the thunderstorm stone, there was no need for the undead tribe to exist. Su Chen shot out a spell and shattered his head. Then he entered the cave and put the thunderstorm stone into his storage bag. Just as he walked out of the cave, loud noises came from afar. Su Chen looked in the direction of the huge noises. Then he retracted his gaze and flew in the direction of the loud noises. These 4 loud noises must have been caused by the torpedoes fired by the intelligent war chariot. This meant that Wu Yang and the others had already started hunting the sea monsters. He had to hurry over to help. On the other side, the intelligent war chariot fired 4 torpedoes and killed all the sea monsters that it had locked onto. At this moment, they were rushing to the hunting area at full speed. Unexpectedly, when they were halfway there, they saw a huge ship in front of them. This huge ship was about 300 meters long and as tall as a 10-story building. It was completely made of brown wood. Looking from afar, it gave off a very shocking feeling. Moreover, not only was it huge, but it was also extraordinarily fast. It was even a little faster than the heavenly overlord turtle. The direction it was heading was also the sea area where the sea monsters were hunted. "Captain Wu, are they going to snatch our sea monsters?" Yang Hao frowned and reminded him. "I hope not." Wu Yang's eyes turned cold as he took a deep breath. The sea monsters were all hunted by their own party. If the other party wanted to snatch them, a huge battle was inevitable. Now that Su Chen was not here, he was the one in charge here. It was inevitable that he would be a little nervous. If they dare to snatch our sea monsters, we'll kill them. Chao Ran shouted softly, his eyes cold. Brother Chao is right. Whoever dares to snatch our things, we'll kill them. Sir Daniu weighed the sky hammer in his hand and said arrogantly, as if he did not care about the huge ship in front of them at all. Wu Yang nodded. A sense of pride welled up in his heart. Get ready. If they don't know what's good for them, we'll teach them a lesson. Although Su Chen was not around, he still had the intelligent chariot, the level 5 Overlord Turtle, and the level 5 Mechanical Soldier. In the Forgotten Worries Ocean, no matter which force it was, they would not have such powerful strength. Therefore, there was nothing to worry about. When the Heavenly Overlord Turtle swam to the area where the sea demon beasts were killed, more than 100 people had already disembarked from the giant ship. They were in a dozen small boats, fishing for the mutated corpses in the sea. Seeing this, Wu Yang and the others got out of the car. The appearance of the Heavenly Overlord Turtle naturally attracted the other party's attention. At the front of the ship, a burly man in animal skin glanced at Wu Yang and the others and shouted, "What are you doing here? Why are you here?" Since the Heavenly Overlord Tortoise had restrained its aura and pressure, it looked like an ordinary sea demon beast and did not attract his attention. The sea demon beasts here were all killed by us. Leave quickly, and I'll pretend that nothing happened. Wu Yang released the aura of a level 3 evolver and warned him. Level 3 evolver. The burly man in animal skin frowned slightly and laughed wildly. You're boasting shamelessly. Do you think you can kill so many sea demon beasts with just you? Although a level 3 evolver was strong, it was not enough to threaten him. Because he was also a level 3 evolver and had many people, he was not afraid of Wu Yang's threat. So you want to force us to attack? Wu Yang's face turned cold. Chapter 283. Do you think you are worthy of fighting us? The beast-skinned man sneered disdainfully, then said with an arrogant face, Do you know who we are? We are from Tan Haiqing. Are you blind? How dare you threaten us? Tan Haiqing was one of the top forces in the area. The mayor, Tan Sihai, was a powerful level 4 magician. In addition, there were 12 other forces in the area that had formed an alliance with Tan Haiqing. They were nicknamed the 13 Cities of the Forgotten Ocean. Other than Tan Hai, who was a level 4 magician, there were 2 other level 4 evolvers. The 13 cities were united. When faced with an external enemy, they would fight together. In the Forgotten Ocean, they were the strongest force. No one dared to provoke them. Therefore, he found Wu Yang's threat ridiculous. Hearing that, Yang Hao and the others all turned to look at Wu Yang angrily. Su Chen was not here, so Wu Yang was their leader. Before they attacked, they had to ask for Wu Yang's opinion. Wu Yang gripped the meteoric iron sword in his hand. Just as he was about to reply, a mocking voice came from afar. Who does Tan Haiqing think he is? Even if the 13 cities of the Forgotten Ocean were added together, they are nothing in my eyes. It's Su Chen. He's back. Tan Lin's expression changed. She turned around and looked back. She was too familiar with this voice. It was definitely Su Chen's voice. Chengu. Yang Hao and the others' eyes lit up. The person who had come was Su Chen. When I entered the Forgotten Ocean, I checked the nearby forces on the central control screen. That's how I found out about the 13 cities of the Forgotten Ocean. Although I don't know the strength of the 13 cities, even level 5 evolvers would be killed if they provoked him. Who is so arrogant? Do you want to die? The man with animal skin's face darkened when he heard that someone dared to look down on Tan Haiqing. He looked in the direction of the voice. When he saw a young man coming over on the waves, he was stunned. What's going on? Someone is walking freely on the sea? Am I seeing things? Or was he dreaming? Behind the strong man with animal skin stood more than a dozen subordinates. At this moment, all of them were bewildered. One of the subordinates walked up to the animal skin brawny man and reminded him, My lord, they don't come with good intentions. What should we do? The brawny man with animal skin rolled his eyes and a cruel look appeared on his face. He said fiercely, You're just playing tricks. Those who offend our Tan Haiqing will die. Wait for my signal later. Although it was strange to walk on the waves, it did not prove how strong one was. Especially when he saw how young Suchen was, he was even less worried. Suchen. Chin-gu. As Suchen approached, everyone greeted him in unison. Suchen smiled faintly, then turned his gaze to the top of the giant ship and said sternly, "Tan Haicheng's people, get lost immediately, or you will be buried here. Let's see who will die today." The strong man with animal skin brawny man's face was ferocious. Then he waved his hand and shouted angrily, "Attack together and destroy them." As soon as he finished speaking, the dozen small boats that were still fishing for the sea monster's corpses rushed toward Su Chen. At the same time, the giant ship also started moving and crushed toward the heavenly overlord turtle. "You're courting death." Su Chen's eyes turned cold. He held the enchanted divine saber high above his head with both hands. After infusing enough thunder magic power, he slashed at the giant ship from afar. What is he trying to do? In the eyes of the strong man with animal skin brawny man, Su Chen's action made him feel very strange. Just when he was a little confused, he saw a thick blue torrent shooting toward him. Feeling the terrifying thunder magic power, the strong man with animal skin brawny man's face changed drastically. Even his heart stopped beating. Chapter 284. He is a lightning element magician. But why is his lightning element spell so terrifying? The man with animal skin screamed in his heart as he saw the blue torrent rushing towards him. He had seen lightning element spells before because Tan Sihai was a level 4 lightning element magician. However, the level 4 spell that Tan Sihai released was not on the same level as Su Chen's. The power of Su Chen's lightning torrent had exceeded that of a level 4 spell. It was even stronger than a level 5 spell. The man with animal skin was only a level 3 evolver. He could not even block a level 4 spell. Facing the lightning torrent, which was beyond level 5, his eyes were filled with despair. The others on the giant ship also felt the approach of death. They all fled for their lives. In the next moment, the blue torrent crashed into the giant ship. With a thunderous boom, it turned into thousands of lightning bolts and wreaked havoc. The man with animal skin was the first to be hit. He was directly struck by a lightning bolt and turned into ashes. The others also lost their lives one by one. After a few breaths, the lightning dissipated. The hundreds of people on the giant ship were all turned into ashes or charred corpses without exception. The giant ship itself was also riddled with holes. With a crisp crack, the entire ship broke into pieces and turned into a pile of wood shavings floating on the surface of the sea. Witnessing this scene, everyone was stunned. The surroundings fell into an eerie silence. One move. Just one move. Not only did he kill hundreds of people, but he also destroyed a giant ship that was hundreds of meters long. Su Chen's strength was displayed to the extreme. Although Wu Yang and the others had some understanding of Su Chen and had seen Su Chen kill his enemies, they were still shocked. At this moment, they were still shocked by the scene in front of them. As for Tan Haicheng and the others who were driving the small boats and wanted to charge over, they were scared out of their wits. When had they ever seen such a terrifying and powerful existence? Tan Sihai was known as the strongest person in the 13 cities of the Forgotten Worries Sea. But in front of Su Chen, it was not even worth a fart. Knowing that they had provoked an unparalleled existence, Tan Haicheng's people desperately rowed their boats and fled in all directions. Su Chen glanced around and ordered the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, kill them." The intelligent war chariot controlled the ungraded Gatling gun and fired wildly. Tut tut tut. Under the intense firepower, Tan Haicheng's men and their ships were riddled with holes. Screams could be heard from the sea. However, there was still a small boat. Because it was too far away, it luckily managed to escape with its life. Su Chen was too lazy to chase after such small fries. He turned around and said, "All right, let's get to work." More than 1,000 sea beasts were killed, and more than 100 fragments were dropped. Su Chen stepped onto the surface of the sea and ran towards the nearest fragment. The others also began to fish out the corpses of the sea beasts and dug out the energy stones. Su Chen grabbed a black fragment, and a strange voice echoed in his mind. Picked up Earth Vein Fire Meteorite, Fragment X1, 9/10. The fragment is not full and cannot be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. Su-Chen muttered to himself. After collecting several times, he had already collected 9 pieces of Earth Vein Fire Meteorite. He only needed 1 more to use. Moreover, its exchange standard in the Doomsday Mall was 10 energy points per fragment. It could be said that as long as Su-Chen was willing, he could exchange it at any time. However, thinking that Earth Vein Fire Meteorite might be the same thing as Big Dipper Star Fragment Stone, he dismissed the idea. Big Dipper Star Fragment Stone weighed 10,000 pounds. He could not carry it at all. Even if he exchanged it, it would be useless. He might as well save the energy points and talk about Heavenly Hundredfold Strength Technique first. Chapter 285. After a while, Su-Chen calmed himself down and continued to pick up fragments. Picked up Pepper Seed Fragment X1, 1/1. Fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su-Chen hesitated for a moment before exchanging it for energy points. Although it was the first time Pepper Seed appeared, it was useless to keep it. Then, he grabbed another purple shard. Picked up Abyss Ghost Howling Wind Fragment X1, 1/10. Fragments are full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. Su-Chen's heart skipped a beat. The name, Abyss Ghost Howling Wind, sounded like a wind element item because it had the word wind in it. Just like Ancient Thunder, there was the word thunder in it. Serene Pool Divine Wood, there was the word wood in it. Thinking of this, Su-Chen was looking forward to it. He used wind element spells more often and was more comfortable with them. However, compared to thunder, wood, ice, and fire element spells, the power was obviously weaker. The reason was that he did not fuse with a wind element item. The Abyss Ghost Howling Wind was a wind element item. It would undoubtedly increase his wind element magic by a level, and his strength would definitely increase again. The appearance of Abyss Ghost Howling Wind made Su-Chen excited, and the speed at which he picked up fragments increased by a lot. After picking up a dozen fragments in a row, a new item appeared. Picked up 56-inch color TV X1, 1/1. Fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su-Chen did not expect that even a color TV could be dropped, and could not help but let his imagination run wild. After coming to the apocalypse, he had not watched TV for a long time, and he did miss it. However, was there a TV signal in the apocalypse? Su-Chen thought about it for a moment and decided to exchange for it. After receiving the feedback, he understood that 56-inch color TV was not broadcast by receiving a TV signal, but by placing a disc. This meant that as long as he had the disc, he could watch TV in the apocalypse. There were very few entertainment programs in the apocalypse, and recently, everyone was a bit tired of playing landlord. If he could watch TV, it would undoubtedly make his life more colorful. After putting the 56-inch color TV into his storage bag, Su-Chen continued to pick up the fragments. Picked up Upgrade Gem, Fragment Asterisk, 1/1. The fragment is full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Picked up Sora Aoi's Movie Disc, Fragment Asterisk, 1/1. The fragment is full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su-Chen's expression became a little strange. He felt that he had been at loggerheads with Sora Aoi recently. That Sora Aoi blow-up doll had just been released, and now there was a short movie. F***CK, can't you change it? Of course, Su-Chen was only fantasizing. Whether it was old teacher Tsang's video or other people's video, he couldn't exchange for it. If this was shown on TV, what would people think of him? Wouldn't his image crumble? Dispelling distracting thoughts, Su-Chen grabbed a red fragment. Picked up Level 3 Constitution Potion, Fragment Asterisk 1/1. The fragment is full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Level 3 Constitution Potion had not appeared for a long time, and the value of this item was very high. Yang Hao and the others were now level 2 evolvers, and they would definitely use it in the future. Chapter 286. After putting away the level 3 physique potion, Su Chen locked his eyes on an orange fragment. The orange fragment was a mutated beast. There were many types of mutated beasts. Some were very strong and some were very weak. He had picked up a few orange fragments before, but none of them could be used. Either there were too many fragments and he could not gather all of them, or the mutated beast was too weak and was not worth it. Su Chen did not have much hope for this orange fragment. Picked up Super Ancient Devouring Gorilla Mosquito, Fragment X1, 110. Fragments are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. This orange fragment might have dropped a mosquito, but the name sounded a little pretentious. Super, Devouring, and Ancient. These three words undoubtedly raised the level of this mosquito. It also made Su Chen have high expectations for it. However, he was still short of 9 fragments. He did not think too much and continued to pick up fragments. Picked up Eternal Youth Fruit Seed, Fragment X1, 110. Fragments are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. This was the first time that he needed to gather enough seeds to use them. This also meant that the value of this seed was very high. It was not something that the previous seeds could compare to. Su Chen was a little suspicious. Was the fruit of the Eternal Youth Fruit Seed used to preserve one's youth forever? If it was, then its value was very high. Especially since he still had the longevity fruit tree. If he used the two together, he could really achieve immortality. After a while, Su Chen took a deep breath and continued to pick up fragments. Picked up 100 Top Chinese Songs Discs, Fragment X1, 11. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Picked up Omnipotent Pressure Cooker, Fragment X1, 11. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. He was a little tired of eating barbecued meat every day. Changing his diet, stewing soup was a good choice. Su Chen happily kept it in his storage bag. Picked up Grape Tree Seed, Fragment X1, 11. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. It was the first time that the grape seed appeared. After Su Chen got it, he planted it into the plant space. Picked up Level 1 Pulse Cannon Fragment, *113. The fragments are not full, so they cannot be used. They can be exchanged for energy points. Exchange for energy points. Half an hour later, all the fragments were collected. Su Chen was quite satisfied with his harvest this time. After resting for a while, when he was about to collect the corpses of the sea beasts, the intelligent war chariot suddenly sounded an alarm. Warning, there are 3 large ships rapidly approaching us. They are currently 10 kilometers away. They are expected to meet in 10 minutes. Someone from the 13 Forget Worries sea cities came. Su Chen narrowed his eyes. The 13 Forget Worries ocean cities were the largest power in the vicinity. Moreover, he had just destroyed one of Tan Haicheng's giant warships, so it was reasonable for the other party to seek revenge. However, Su Chen could not figure it out. The lightning-type spell techniques he had just unleashed could be described as earth-shattering. It also proved that his strength was unparalleled. The other party should have known this, so why did he still dare to come? Was he fearless? Or was he fearless because he was ignorant? Since he could not figure it out, Su Chen decided not to dwell on it. No matter what the other party's motive was, as long as they dared to provoke him, only death awaited them. Chapter 287. Then, Su Chen continued to collect the corpses of the sea beasts. When he was halfway through collecting, 3 large ships approached. Seeing that the other party was coming menacingly, Wu Yang and the others stopped collecting the sea beasts. Each of them held their weapons and became cautious. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced at the 3 large ships. These 3 ships, from the outside, were no different from the previous giant ship. However, They were obviously much smaller. They were more than 100 meters long, only 1/3 the size of the giant ship. At this moment, on the bow of the middle ship, there were more than a dozen people standing around. The leader was an old man with high cheekbones and eyes that were as small as beans. After looking at Su Chen and the others, he asked a middle-aged man next to him, "Is it them?" "City Lord, it's them. The one who released the thunder technique is the young man standing at the front." The middle-aged man hurriedly replied. When he spoke, he was still a little scared. He was one of the people on the small ship that escaped. Previously, the scene of Su Chen sinking the giant ship with one move was still vivid in his mind. At that time, he was almost scared to death on the spot. Meeting Su Chen again, even with so many masters in the Forgotten Worries Ocean, he still felt a little uneasy. "Boy, you killed our Tan Haicheng's people? You destroyed our giant ship? Do you know your crime?" The bean-eyed old man's face was gloomy as he shouted angrily. He was none other than the city lord of Tan Haicheng, Tan Sihai. He was also the leader of the 13 cities of the Forgotten Worries Ocean. When he learned that Tan Haicheng's giant ship was destroyed and his subordinates were slaughtered, he was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. Whether it was the giant ship or his subordinates, they were all important trump cards for him to maintain his position in the Forgotten Worries Ocean. Now that they were all destroyed by Su Chen, his position in the Forgotten Worries Ocean was not so stable. Therefore, today, he must kill Su Chen and the others to restore Tan Haicheng's prestige. He wanted to let the others know that Forget Worries Ocean was still his world. Of course, he also knew how powerful Su Chen was. In order to kill an expert like Su Chen, one had to be fully prepared. On this trip, he had brought along a treasure that was specially designed to restrain Su Chen, so he was very confident. "You people from Tan Haicheng actually dared to snatch my sea demon beast. It can only be said that you are courting death." Su Chen's face was full of contempt. He snorted coldly and said, "If you know what's good for you, scram immediately. Otherwise, I'll kill all of you." "Ha!" Tan Sihai laughed wildly, then stared at Su Chen, his eyes exuding a bone-chilling coldness. He gritted his teeth and said, "I know you are a powerful magic psychic master, but you are still too inexperienced to act tough in front of me, Tan Sihai. Today, this old man will completely suppress you." As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his hand, and something that looked like a ruby slowly floated into the sea. Yang Hao spat at the big ship where Tan Sihai was. His eyes were full of sarcasm. This old man with the surname Tan is quite good at acting tough. He still wants to suppress Chingu? Chao Ran, who was next to him, echoed, "Some people's brains don't work well when they get old." They even dared to provoke Chingu. They have no one to blame but themselves for their long lives. Sherdani sighed and sighed, "They are already so old. Isn't it good to live?" In their hearts, Su Chen was an invincible existence. Tan Sihai was so arrogant that he wanted to arm wrestle with Su Chen. This kind of behavior was tantamount to suicide. Su Chen's attention was always on the ruby. He faintly felt that the ruby contained a strange power that made him a little uncomfortable. "Ah, kid, under the light of my anti-magic gem, you have less than 10% of your magical power left. Let's see how you are going to fight me." At this moment, Tan Sihai laughed wildly again. Chapter 288. Su Chen circulated his magic power and felt that it was indeed a little sluggish. Although he was a little surprised, he did not take it to heart. Magic power was only one of his many means. His opponent was too naive to think that he could defeat him with just a piece of anti-magic gem. "Do you think you can show off in front of me by imprisoning my magic power?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and sneered. Then, with a flash of purple light on his feet, he stepped into the sea and charged towards Tan Sihai at a ghostly speed. What a fast speed! Is he a high-level evolved person? Could he be a level 5 evolved person? "Mayor, what should we do?" Seeing Su Chen charging at them with lightning speed, the people on the ship were a little panicked. Tan Sihai's eyelids also twitched. Originally, he thought that Su Chen was just a psychic. He did not think that Su Chen was also an evolved person. And judging from his speed, It was very likely that he was a level 5 evolved person. Let's attack together, we can't let him get here. Tan Sihai roared and raised his hand to shoot out a violent thunder spell. He knew that once a powerful evolved person like Su Chen got close, it would be a disaster for them. So he did not hesitate to stop Su Chen. The others reacted and attacked at the same time. Dozens of psychic casters released spells together. Icicles, fireballs, and violent thunder spells flew out continuously. Those evolved people did not have long-range attacks, but they took out bows and arrows and shot at Su Chen. For a time, all kinds of spells were thrown at Su Chen from all directions. Hundreds of sharp arrows pierced the sky and whistled towards Su Chen. At this moment, the whole sky was covered in the color of magic. The magic waves emitted from it were abnormally terrifying. The sound of the air being pierced deeply into everyone's eardrums. Even though Wu Yang and the others were far away, they still felt the waves of pressure and their breathing became much more rapid. Although he knew that Su Chen was very strong, in the face of such an indiscriminate attack, could he survive? Tan Lin and Yang Qian couldn't help but feel nervous. Their palms were sweating. The expressions of Yang Hao and the other two turned ugly. Kid, let's see how you're going to act tough now. A cruel expression appeared on Tan Sihai's face. Even a level 5 evolver would not be able to survive the attack of dozens of spells and hundreds of arrows. At this moment, he already regarded Su Chen as a dead man. Su Chen scoffed at this. He didn't even try to dodge, allowing the spells and arrows to come at him. In the next moment, the flying spell exploded around him, setting off a monstrous wave that drowned Su Chen's figure. Following closely behind, the sharp arrows pierced into the place where Su Chen was standing one after another. "Ha! You're dead meat." Seeing this scene, Tan Sihai laughed wildly again. The others were also excited and hooted. I thought this kid was very powerful. It turns out that he only knows how to act tough. Going against the 13 Forgotten Worries Sea Cities, he must be tired of living. So what if he's a level 5 evolver? Under our joint efforts, didn't he still die without leaving even a speck of dust? You're too naive. Just as the people of the 13 Forgotten Worries Sea Cities were celebrating, a cold snort suddenly rang in their ears. Immediately after, a tall and handsome figure slowly walked out from the waves that filled the sky. It's him. Why is he still alive? My eyes must be playing tricks on me. He can't possibly survive. When they saw that the person who walked out was Su Chen, the people of the 13 Forgotten Worries Sea Cities screamed as if they had seen a ghost. Chapter 289. What was even harder for them to accept was that when Su Chen walked out, he patted his clothes a few times with a faint smile on his face. He was completely unharmed from the beginning to the end. How could this be? Could it be that those spells and arrows were all fake? Or did they attack the wrong target? Or was Su Chen so powerful that he could ignore such powerful attacks? Unable to figure out the situation, the people of the 13 Forget Worries Sea Cities fell into deep shock and confusion. Do you think a bunch of ants like you can cause trouble in front of me? You overestimate yourselves. Su Chen sneered and walked forward slowly. With the ancient god-fiend body, he could ignore any attacks below the same level. Tan Sihai was the strongest among them, but he was only a level 4 Dharma Psychic. How could he hurt him? Although Su Chen walked slowly, every step he took made the hearts of the people of the 13 Forget Worries Sea Cities tremble. It was as if they felt that death was about to come. Finally, they couldn't take it anymore and tried to persuade Tan Sihai. City Lord, he's not human. Let's run. Alliance Master, take a step back and you'll be safe. Su Chen's strength had exceeded their understanding. Arrows couldn't hurt him, spells didn't work, and he was a terrifying existence that couldn't be killed at all. How could they have the courage to resist? At this moment, they wished they could grow a pair of wings and fly away from this place. Retreat, return to Tanhai City, leave immediately. Tan Sihai came back to his senses and hurriedly ordered. He was already scared out of his wits by Su Chen. He only wanted to escape as far as possible. As long as he didn't run into Su Chen, he could escape to the ends of the earth. The face. Dignity? Compared to his life, all of that was worth less than a fart. Can you escape? Su Chen sneered and then ran forward at full speed. Just as he approached the ship, he leaped up and punched the air. In an instant, 100 golden fist shadows appeared in the air. Each fist shadow emitted an extremely fierce aura, causing the void to buzz and tremble. What's this? Tan Sihai was so scared that his legs began to tremble. The others could not even raise their heads under the pressure of this violent fist aura. Pegasus Meteor Fist. Su Chen bellowed and punched out. Bang bang bang. What followed was a series of 100 explosions. Under the merciless devastation of the Pegasus Meteor Fist, the ship, which was over 100 meters long, was directly smashed into pieces. Tan Sihai and the others also became a part of the powder. After falling into the sea, they finally disappeared without a trace. Oh my God! Run quickly! He's a devil! The people on the other two ships were scared out of their wits. They tried their best to steer their ships away. His speed was quite fast. In the blink of an eye, he had already fled a distance of over 100 meters. Su Chen curled his lips and ordered the intelligent chariot, Satoshi, launch 2 torpedoes and kill them. The intelligent war chariot turned on the torpedo launcher and launched 2 torpedoes. With 2 deafening explosions, the 2 ships sank to the bottom of the sea one after another. Okay, let's continue. Su Chen smiled faintly and then walked to the anti-magic gem. After looking at it, he put it into the storage bag. The anti-magic gem's function was still very strange. It seemed to be able to cut off the bridge between the body and the magic power. This aroused Su Chen's strong interest. He planned to study it when he had time. Chapter 290. An hour later, the sea beasts' bodies were dealt with, and everyone returned to the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen took out the universal pressure cooker and universal oven and gave them to Yang Hao, asking him to prepare the meal. He then communicated with the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, I have got the thunderstorm stones. There are 100 stones in total. Is it enough for the upgrade? Master, the upgrade of the magnetic storm net and torpedo requires 50 thunderstorm stones each. And the derivative thunderbolt requires 100 stones, the intelligent war chariot replied. How is the power of the magnetic storm net and torpedo after the upgrade? Su Chen was more concerned about this. As for the thunderbolt beam, he felt that it was not worth it because it required 100 stones, so he decided to use the thunderstorm stones on the magnetic storm net and torpedo. After the upgrade of the magnetic storm net, the coverage area doubled, but the power remained the same. After the torpedo upgrade, the power increased by 1/3. Hearing this, Su Chen nodded slightly. Before the upgrade of the magnetic storm power source, it could kill more than 100 zombies below level 3 at once. After the upgrade, it could only kill zombies below level 3, but the number of zombies it could kill had doubled. As for the torpedo, it could kill about 300 sea beasts at once. After the upgrade, it could kill 400. Su Chen was still not satisfied with the performance after the upgrade. After a while, he installed the thunderstorm stones in the groove below the central control screen. After the upgrade of the intelligent war chariot, Su Chen turned to look at the central control screen and continued to look for the sea beasts. At this moment, the intelligent war chariot spoke again. Master, the gem you got before is very useful to me. I can create a new attack weapon. Gem? The anti-magic gem? Su Chen muttered, took out the anti-magic gem, and asked, Satoshi, is it this gem? It is this gem, the intelligent war chariot replied with certainty. Su Chen installed the anti-magic gem in the groove and asked, Satoshi, what kind of weapon can you create? It was true that the anti-magic gem was a good item, but as long as it could increase the attack power of the intelligent war chariot, no matter how good it was, he would install it on the intelligent war chariot. By consuming this anti-magic gem, I can generate anti-magic light waves that can cover an area of 1,000 meters, the intelligent war chariot explained. What's the use of the anti-magic light wave? Su Chen could faintly feel that this thing wasn't simple, so he asked urgently. Its function is to confine a psychic's magic power, and its confinement rate is 100%. There's a limit to the confinement ability, it can't exceed my own level. A pleasant surprise, a pleasant surprise. Su Chen's eyes lit up with excitement. The anti-magic light wave was only effective against magic psyche masters. Any magic psyche master who was enveloped by the light wave would not be able to use any spells and would be reduced to a cripple. Of course, the prerequisite was that the level of the enveloped Dharma psychic must not exceed the level of the intelligent war chariot. In other words, the intelligent war chariot was now at level 3, and the anti-magic light wave could only be used against spellcasters below level 3. Even so, the might of the anti-magic light wave was no small matter. In addition, how many magic psyche masters above level 4 could there be on Thousand Feather Island? Probably only a handful. Moreover, the intelligent war chariot wouldn't stay at level 3 forever. It was an upgraded war chariot. As long as there were enough materials, it could continue to be upgraded. At that time, the power of the anti-magic light wave would reach a new level. Su Chen calmed down and continued to search for the whereabouts of the sea monsters. Chapter 291. Needless to say, there were many sea beasts in the Forget Worries Ocean, and they often came in groups. Su Chen soon found a group of about 2,000 sea beasts. Before setting off to hunt, he decided to fill his stomach first. Especially since he had just obtained the omnipotent pressure cooker, he wanted to taste it. After eating and drinking, everyone embarked on the hunting journey. In the next few days, Su Chen kept hunting sea beasts. No matter how many sea beasts there were in the Forget Worries Ocean, they could not withstand this kind of killing. In the end, not even a shadow of the sea beasts could be seen. Sea beasts were not like zombies. They also had intelligence. Seeing a large number of their companions die, they migrated out of the Forget Worries Ocean and went to other sea areas or even the deep sea. Without any sea beasts to kill, Su Chen did not want to wander around the Forget Worries Ocean. As for going to other sea areas or the deep sea, he had no intention of doing so for the time being. Of course, after killing all the zombies and mutant beasts in Chinyu Island, he would naturally go to other sea areas. After glancing at the central control screen, Su Chen chose a place to land. When he arrived on land, he immediately put the Heavenly Overlord Turtle into the pet-raising space. The initial space of the pet-raising space was only 10 cubic meters, which was definitely not enough to hold the Heavenly Overlord Turtle. However, Su Chen upgraded it to 300 cubic meters, which was enough to hold the Heavenly Overlord Turtle. In addition, the storage bag was also upgraded to 300 cubic meters. Planting space had also been upgraded, but the upgrade was smaller, only 100 cubic meters. For this, Su Chen used up all the upgrade gems and even spent a lot of energy points. However, compared to the consumption, the harvest was more abundant. During this period, tens of thousands of sea beasts were killed, and thousands of fragments were dropped. Most of them were exchanged for energy points. His energy points had already exceeded 8,000, and this was under the condition that he had spent some. Otherwise, it would have been even more. As for the sea beast corpses, the storage bag was almost filled to the brim. There were tens of thousands of energy stones of various levels. It could be said that Su Chen made a lot of money on this trip to the Forget Worries Ocean. Su Chen, where are we going next? After arriving on land, the intelligent war chariot remained where it was. Wu Yang asked. Su Chen originally wanted to return to Tiannan Colony. After all, there were still a lot of zombies there. However, when he glanced at the central control screen, he realized that the Firewolf encampment was on the way to Tiannan encampment, so he decided to take a look. Let's go to the Firewolf colony first, then return to the Tiannan colony, Su Chen said. Upon hearing that they were going to Tiannan, Wu Yang, Chao Ran, and Tan Lin became excited. After all, they had lived in the Heavenly South for many years, so they had more or less feelings for each other. Next, he locked onto the location of the Firewolves' gathering place, and the intelligent war chariot moved at full speed. Chingu, do you want to fight? With nothing to do, Yang Hao took out his poker cards and invited Su Chen to play Fight the Landlord. Let's not play Fight the Landlord today. Let's listen to music. Su Chen smiled, then took out the color TV and installed the 100 Network Hit Songs CD. The first song to play was Your Answer. Maybe the world is like this. I'm also on the road. No one can tell. The light of dawn will cross the darkness. Break all fear. I can find the answer. His deep voice and melodious music made the crowd intoxicated. Chapter 292. Su Chen was also deeply touched. The apocalypse was actually a dark world, and everyone should be looking for answers. Then what was his answer? After thinking for a while, he felt that his answer was very simple and pure. That was to kill zombies and drop fragments. The more the better. Simple and monotonous, but not lacking in meaning. The intelligent war chariot traveled for 3 days straight, and just as it was about to reach the fire wolf gathering place, Su Chen saw on the central control screen that 4 blue dots were flying towards him. They were only a few miles apart. Moreover, the speed of these 4 blue dots was not slow, so they should be evolvers. Su Chen did not care, evolvers were everywhere after all, as long as they did not come to provoke him. The intelligent war chariot continued to move forward according to its usual route, and after a few minutes, it met the 4 blue dots. Senior, save me. Su Chen was resting with his eyes closed, and vaguely felt that the voice was a little familiar. Chingu, it seems to be Zhou Yun. Yang Hao reminded him. Zhou Yun? Su Chen frowned slightly. He had a good impression of Zhou Yun, and when he left, he even gave him a bottle of level 1 vitality potion. However, wasn't Zhou Yun's home at the Rocky Hill? Why did he come here? And he was asking him for help? Was he being chased? Thinking of this, Su Chen opened his eyes and looked outside. Sure enough, he saw Zhou Yun flying towards him, and behind him were 3 men in blue, chasing after Zhou Yun. Satoshi, stop the chariot. Su Chen ordered, and when the intelligent war chariot stopped, he got out of the chariot. At this time, Zhou Yun had already run in front of him, and he was still shouting, Senior, they want to kill me. Su Chen focused his gaze, and saw that Zhou Yun's clothes were ragged, and there were a few wounds on his body, looking very miserable. The 3 men in blue, after catching up, were not in a hurry to make a move. They kept looking at Su Chen and the intelligent war chariot. They had seen a lot of MCVs, but it was the first time they had seen one as cool as the intelligent war vehicle. Moreover, they also knew that the people who owned the MCV were not ordinary people. If he didn't have the strength, the MCV would have been taken away by others. Kid, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. Seeing that Zhou Yun and Su Chen were very familiar with each other, one of the men with a scar on his face snorted coldly. Although he still didn't know Su Chen's background, he had his own identity and Su Chen's young age, so he didn't put Su Chen in his eyes. Su Chen ignored him and turned to ask Zhou Yun, what's going on? Why are they chasing after you? Zhou Yun clenched his hands and said angrily, Senior, they are from Heaven Connect City. After learning that Fang Chengwu was killed, they began to hunt down people related to this matter. Fang Chengwu was killed by Su Chen, and Zhou Yun had been with Su Chen at that time, so it was reasonable that he was implicated. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen looked at the 3 men from Heaven Connect City and said lightly, Are you from Heaven Connect City? It could be said that he had a deep grudge with the people of Heaven Connect City. In total, he had killed many people of Heaven Connect City. Among them, there were 3 level 3 evolvers. If the other party was really from Heaven Connect City, he could only count himself unlucky to have met him. The scarred man glanced coldly at Su Chen and threatened, Kid, since you know we are from Heaven Connect City, why don't you get out of my way? Heaven Connect City was one of the top forces in Yulin, and even in the entire Qinyu Island, its name was very well known. No matter who it was, when they saw people from Heaven Connect City, they would be courteous to them as a form of respect. With this identity, the scarred man thought that Su Chen would not dare to go against him. Chapter 293. Sky Connect City is nothing. Suchin curled his lips and said mockingly, I like killing people from Sky Connect City the most, and I've already killed quite a few. At this point, he narrowed his eyes and swept his gaze over the scarred man and the other two. His eyes were cold, as if he was treating the three of them as dead people. What do you want? Being stared at by Suchin, the scarred man felt a chill run down his spine and subconsciously took a few steps back. The other two's expressions also changed, and they retreated together. Suchin seemed to be harmless to humans and animals, but there was a fierce murderous aura around him. Only some particularly powerful people would have this kind of murderous aura. At this moment, they all realized that Suchin was definitely a powerful person, and a very powerful one at that. Of course it's to kill you. Suchin smiled faintly, and his mind power instantly spread out. With 3 explosive sounds, the scarred man and the other two exploded into 3 clouds of blood mist under the pressure of the mind power. Seeing this, the corners of Zhou Yun's mouth couldn't help but tremble. He had a feeling that Suchin seemed to be much more powerful than the last time he saw him. Last time, Suchin was at level 3, and now he was at level 4, and his strength had increased exponentially. It was reasonable for Zhou Yun to have this kind of intuitive feeling. Get in the car first. Suchin called out and walked straight into the intelligent war chariot. Zhou Yun followed closely behind. After getting in the car, he politely greeted the people in the car. Hello, seniors. Sure Duo tried her best to hold back her laughter and thought to herself, I'm only 7 years old. How did I become a senior? Chao Ran cleared his throat and pretended to be deep as he said, Little Zhou, not bad. I haven't seen you for a few days, and you've already become an evolved person. Zhou Yun looked at Suchin and said gratefully, It's all thanks to the potion that senior gave me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to become an evolved person in my lifetime. Hearing this, Chao Ran and the others were deeply moved. Their talents were very poor, and the only reason they could become evolvers was because of Suchin. Just call me Chingu. Don't call me senior. It's uncomfortable. Suchin joked and then asked, How many people came from Heaven Connect City? Where are they now? Chingu, there are more than 10 of them, and one of them is a level 4 evolver, Zhou Yun quickly replied. Zhou Yun was very excited that Suchin wanted him to call him Chingu. Although it was only a change in the way he addressed Suchin, there was no doubt that his relationship with Suchin had become much closer. Why are they here? It's not a star-gathering stone, is it? Suchin gave a soft cry of surprise. A level 4 evolver could be said to be the top fighting power in Tongtian City, and such people would not go out easily. If they encountered an accident outside, it would be an immeasurable loss to Tongtian City. It seems to be for the star-gathering stone. As soon as they came, they searched everywhere for the star-gathering stone. Zhou Yun thought for a moment and replied. Suchin rubbed his nose and pondered. Although the value of the star-gathering stone was very high, there was no need to mobilize so many people, right? Even a level 4 evolver was sent out to search for it? Suchin faintly felt that this matter was not simple, so he ordered the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, go to the fire wolf gathering place immediately. The intelligent war chariot ignited and started, speeding forward. About an hour later, the intelligent war chariot arrived at the gate of the fire wolf gathering place. Just like last time, there were many people coming in and out of the city gate. The appearance of the intelligent war chariot immediately caused a commotion among them. Chapter 294. Look, that group of killing gods is here again. Oh my god, are they going to fight with the people of Sky Connect City? Who knows? Let's wait and see. Sky Connect City has a level 4 evolver. How can they be a match for him? Do you think they're easy to deal with? Last time, the arrival of Suchin and the others had set off a storm of blood at the fire wolf gathering place. Many experts, including the city lord Fang Chenggu, were killed. Would he go on a killing spree like the last time he came here? Let's go and meet the people of Sky Connect City. Suchin opened the door and got out of the car. The rest of the people followed closely behind Suchin. When the crowd stood in front of the carriage and lined up, more than a dozen men in blue walked out of the city gate. Judging from their clothes, they were not much different from the 3 people from Sky Connect City who had been killed before. Is this the group of people who killed Feng Chengwu and stole the star-gathering stone? On the opposite side, an old man with a face full of pockmarks glanced at Su Chen and the others before turning to ask Feng Zhe who was beside him. Feng Zhe secretly looked at Su Chen and saw that Su Chen's eyes were unfriendly. He could not help but shiver. It could be said that he could not afford to offend either Su Chen or the old man with the pockmarks. However, it was impossible for him to stay out of the 2 of them. Feng Zhe struggled for a while and finally chose to stand on the side of the old man with the pockmarks. The old man with the pockmarks was not only a level 4 evolver but also from Sky Connect City. Regardless of strength or identity, Su Chen could not compare to him. Although Su Chen was also very strong, he was only level 3. He was definitely not a match for a level 4 evolver. After thinking this through, he bowed and replied, "Sir, the ones who stole the star-gathering stone and killed Chief Feng are these traitors." Hearing this, Wu Yang and the others were furious. Su Chen's face was also as gloomy as water. No matter what, he had helped Feng Zhe last time, pushing him to the position of the leader of the Fire Wolf gathering place. Who would have thought that not only would this guy not be grateful, but he would also become a fence-sitter and side with Heaven Connect City? How abominable! This kind of behavior was equivalent to betrayal, and Su Chen had already placed him on his must-kill list. "How dare you kill people and rob them here?" The pockmarked old man angrily rebuked with an arrogant face, and then coldly threatened, "Whoever took the Star Congregation stone, immediately hand it over, and I can leave his corpse intact." Do all of you from Sky Connect City like to show off? Su Chen rubbed his nose and took a step forward with a disdainful expression as if he was looking at the old man as a clown. The pockmarked old man frowned slightly. He sized up Su Chen and snorted coldly, "Kid, do you know how powerful Heaven Connect City is? Are you in such a hurry to die?" He did not understand why this young man in front of him still dared to speak so boldly after knowing that he was from Heaven Connect City. Did he know that he was going to die? Was he trying to show off before dying? So that he could die with dignity? Who gave you the courage to be a level 4 evolver from Heaven Connect City? Don't you know that there is always someone better than you? Su Chen said with a face full of contempt. Listening to the other party's tone, Heaven Connect City seemed to be the #1 force on Thousand Feather Island. Arrogant, domineering, and overbearing. It was as if he was saying that in front of Heaven Connect City, no matter who it was, they had to submit. Otherwise, they would suffer the wrath of Heaven Connect City and die. Chapter 295. As soon as Su Chen finished speaking, there was an uproar at the city gate. An expert from Tongtian City, and a level 4 evolver at that, actually mocked him mercilessly. This time, it was very lively. The people of Tongtian City had always been known for their strength. Would they let a young man humiliate them? The answer was obvious. The people of Tongtian City were all filled with righteous indignation, and they put on a posture as if they wanted to tear Su Chen apart. The pockmarked old man was even more furious. He gritted his teeth and roared, "Boy, you're courting death." As soon as he finished speaking, he held a knife and rushed in front of Su Chen, slashing down. The aura of a level 4 evolver burst out like an avalanche. What a powerful aura! As expected of a level 4 evolver. That boy is finished. This is the result of provoking Tongtian City. He's still too young. The expressions of the surrounding people changed. They all thought that Su Chen was doomed this time. Even the light of a grain of rice was shining. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly. His palm was instantly filled with a bright golden light. Under everyone's gaze, he stretched out his hand to grab the knife. Is he crazy? He actually dares to use his body to resist the powerful knife of a level 4 evolver? Does he think he has an indestructible body? Seeing this scene, the onlookers could not remain calm. Su Chen's action, in their view, was undoubtedly an act of seeking death. The pockmarked old man's expression changed slightly, but it was quickly replaced by a ruthless look. Since the young man in front of him was courting death, he might as well fulfill his wish. Crack! The crisp sound of something breaking rang out. The pockmarked old man's knife accurately landed on Su Chen's palm. However, the expected scene of Su Chen's palm being cut off did not appear. Instead, the knife in the pockmarked old man's hand was broken into 2 pieces. Is this real? This scene in the eyes of the crowd made them feel that it was especially unreal. Even a level 5 evolver had to avoid the violent knife of a level 4 evolver. Why did Su Chen dare to take it head-on? And it even broke the chopping blade? Could it be a level 6 evolver? But even a level 6 evolver wouldn't be unscathed, right? Could it be that he really had an indestructible body? Although Su Chen did not have an invincible Vajra body, he had the ancient God-Fiend body and was immune to all attacks of the same level. In addition, with the help of the golden scales on the arm, it was normal for him to break the saber with one palm. A bunch of ignorant fools. Seeing everyone's reaction, Chao Ran sneered contemptuously. Su Chen was able to remain unscathed in the face of dozens of spells and hundreds of arrows. What could a mere saber do to him? What a fuss! How did you do it? The pockmarked old man was inexplicably shocked. He looked at Su Chen as if he had seen a ghost. Breaking a level 4 evolver's chopping knife with his bare hands was too terrifying. It was too unbelievable. You don't have the right to know how I did it. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, "Tell me your purpose for coming here, and I will consider leaving your corpse intact." Previously, the pockmarked old man had used this sentence to threaten Su Chen. But in the blink of an eye, the situation had taken a sharp turn, and he had become the target of the threat. The pockmarked old man's thoughts kept spinning. He knew that Su Chen was qualified to say such words. But how could he be willing to just wait for death? In the end, he gritted his teeth, turned around, and flew to the side. Seeing this, the onlookers were stunned. A level 4 evolver was scared away? Did he not want the dignity of a level 4 evolver? Where would Heaven Connect City put their face? The rest of the people from Heaven Connect City were also dumbfounded. For a moment, they did not know what to do and were stunned on the spot. Want to run? Su Chen snorted coldly. With a flick of his finger, a green thread of light shot out from his finger and instantly shot to the feet of the pockmarked old man. Chapter 296. The pockmarked old man hadn't even taken a few steps when he felt his feet being entangled by something. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free. It was a critical moment for him to escape. If he was delayed, he might lose his life. The pockmarked old man glanced at his feet. When he saw that it was a vine that was entangled, he was horrified. He cried out, "Wood element entanglement! A level 5 magician." Although Su Chen was only a level 4 magician, his wood element magic had been fused with the divine wood of the Netherpole. The power of the spell he released was even higher than a level 5 spell. This made the pockmarked old man think that it was a level 5 spell. "I'm giving you one last chance. Tell me why you're here. Otherwise, I'll use 1,000 different ways to torture you." Su Chen walked in front of the pockmarked old man and stared at him coldly. His eyes were filled with a bone-chilling and evil aura. The pockmarked old man couldn't help but shudder. Under Su Chen's gaze, he finally opened his mouth. "We're here for the Star Congregation Stone." "Continue." Su Chen's voice was cold. He already knew this. The key was why they were here to collect the Star Congregation Stone. "Senior, if I tell you, I'll become a sinner of Sky Connect City. They won't let me go." The pockmarked old man stuttered. The meaning of his words was that if he told the truth, Lin Fan had to protect him. Su Chen rubbed his nose and muttered in his heart, "Is this guy an idiot? Even if you tell me everything, I'll still kill you. Do I need to worry about Sky Connect City's revenge?" With a light snort, Su Chen said indifferently, "Tell me the truth, and I'll give you a quick death. If you don't, you'll be tortured. Choose for yourself." "So you're saying that you won't give me a chance to live?" The pockmarked old man's expression was extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "Senior, If I submit to you, can you spare my life? If a level 4 evolver wanted to rely on a force, he would definitely be welcomed. After all, the strength of a level 4 evolver was there. No matter which force it joined, it would be able to greatly increase its strength. However, in Su Chen's eyes, not to mention a level 4 evolver, even a level 5 evolver was not worth mentioning. Moreover, he wouldn't keep someone he didn't know by his side. You'd better confess honestly. Su Chen's face was serious as he curled his lips. As for you submitting to me, I'm sorry, but I don't care. The pockmarked old man's face turned pale as he clenched his fists tightly. A level 4 evolver was actually worthless in the eyes of the other party? At this moment, his heart was crumbling and he was furious. If that's the case, then kill me if you want. I won't say a word. Su Chen didn't care at all. A strange curve appeared on his lips as he chuckled. I've met quite a few people who are as stubborn as you. But in the end, they all regretted it. With that, Su Chen released his spiritual force and bound the pockmarked old man. At the same time, he took out the enchanted saber and chopped down at his right arm. Crack. The pockmarked old man's entire arm was separated from his body. Bright red blood spurted out from the wound, dyeing half of his body red in the blink of an eye. The pockmarked old man screamed in pain, his entire face twisted together. The surrounding onlookers were all shocked by this bloody scene and didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The rest of the people from Heaven Pass City looked at each other and fled in all directions. Captain Wu, don't leave a single one alive. Su Chen glanced at them and said to Wu Yang. Wu Yang didn't say anything and started chasing after the people of Heaven Pass City with the others. Su Chen looked at the pockmarked old man again and slowly raised the saber in his hand into the air. The pockmarked old man was scared out of his wits and shouted, I said, the Lord of Heaven Pass City, Jiang Wei, wants to use the star-gathering stone to open a realm passage. Chapter 297. Su Chen frowned deeply and asked in a deep voice, why did they open the realm passage? Which race did they connect to? Those who were not of the same race were bound to have different intentions. Cooperating with a foreign race was like asking a tiger for its skin. Why did Jiang Wei dare to open the realm passage? Could it be that he had a close relationship with the foreign race, just like the venerable engraved dragon of the Hidden Fog sect? The situation was getting more and more confusing. Su Chen fell into deep confusion. I only know that Jiang Wei wants to open a realm passage. I don't know anything else, the pockmarked old man sighed and replied. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and stared at the pockmarked old man. You're not lying to me? This matter had too many implications. He was not sure if the pockmarked old man was telling the truth. There's no need for a person who's about to die. The pockmarked old man sneered. Su Chen knew that he would not be able to get anything else out of the pockmarked old man, so he simply smashed his head with a punch. Su Chen, how should we deal with this guy? At this time, Wu Yang carried Fengzhe and walked to Su Chen's side. As for the people of Heaven Connect City who had just escaped, they had already been caught and killed. Senior, I was forced to do this. Please give me another chance. Fengzhe knelt at Su Chen's feet and loudly begged for mercy. This kind of opportunist would be a disaster if left alive. Su Chen did not even look at him. He raised his hand and cut off his head with a wind blade. Let's go, get on the carriage, Su Chen called out. The people of Heaven Connect City had been killed, so the matter here was over. He also wanted to leave the Fire Wolves' gathering place. After everyone had boarded the carriage, Su Chen asked Zhou Yun, do you have any relatives in Rocky Mound? Qinggu, I'm an orphan. I don't have any relatives, Zhou Yun said. Su Chen thought for a moment and said, I'll take you to a safe place. After all, he was acquainted with Zhou Yun. If he left him here, he would be in danger when the people from Heaven Connect City came later. Therefore, he planned to send Zhou Yun to Fengshi Gathering Place. If he followed Han Kuan, his safety would be guaranteed. Qinggu, I'll listen to you. Zhou Yun nodded heavily. Su Chen nodded slightly and ordered the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, head to Fengshi Gathering Place. The intelligent war chariot. ignited and sped toward the wind elemental's base. Because the surrounding area had been cleaned up a few days ago, it was difficult to encounter a decent group of zombies. Everyone had nothing to do, so they gathered together to play Fight the Landlord, listen to music, eat barbecue, and drink fruit drinks. They were very happy. On the fourth day, the intelligent war chariot slowly approached the Fengshi gathering place. What was unexpected was that Fengshi colony was not peaceful at this time. There was a fierce battle taking place outside the city. There were thousands of people participating in the battle from both sides. The side with the advantage in numbers was led by Han Kuan and the people from Fengshi colony. The other side had fewer people, only a few hundred people. However, although they had fewer people, their fighting power was tyrannical. There were dozens of evolvers and psychics added together. Relying on the advantage of top fighting power, the Fengshi colony was utterly defeated and suffered countless casualties. If Han Kuan had not vowed to fight to the death, the Fengshi colony would have been defeated long ago. Moreover, Han Kuan's situation was very dangerous. He was only a level 2 evolver, but he was surrounded by several level 1 evolvers and a level 2 psychic. The situation was precarious. He might not be able to hold on for long before he was surrounded and killed. Chapter 298. Satoshi, Charge. Su Chen roared. He and Han Kuan were friends, and he would not watch Han Kuan die in the hands of others. Perhaps sensing Su Chen's urgency, the intelligent war chariot increased its horsepower and rushed into the battle. As the intelligent war chariot's momentum was too domineering, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. The two sides of the battle were forced to open up a path. They temporarily stopped fighting and stopped fighting. Screech! With a sudden breaking sound, the intelligent war chariot drifted beautifully and stopped in front of Han Kuan. Immediately, Su Chen and the rest walked down from the chariot. Brother Su! Han Kuan was extremely excited as if he had seen his savior. The people who were surrounding Han Kuan also stopped and gathered together. They sized up Su Chen and the rest cautiously. Brother Han, how have you been? Su Chen walked up with a smile and joked. His calm and collected expression made it seem as if he didn't put either side in his eyes at all. Brother Su, luckily you came in time. If you were a step later, I'm afraid I would have been killed by them, Han Kuan said with lingering fear. He knew that Su Chen was joking with him, but he was not in the mood to do so. Tell me what's going on? Su Chen stopped smiling and said seriously. With Su Chen by his side, Han Kuan was emboldened. He pointed at the other party's nose and scolded, "These bastards from Shi-En's colony want to steal our city." Shi-En's colony? Su Chen murmured, and his interest was piqued. Speaking of which, he had some conflicts with Shi-En's colony. He had killed 6 of their evolvers. However, what he could not understand was that Shi-En's colony was at least a few thousand miles away from here. Why did they come all the way here to steal a small colony instead of staying in their own place? Were they so poor that they went crazy? Su Chen glanced at them and his gaze landed on a dark-skinned middle-aged man. He said sternly, "Why are you snatching my friend's city?" The middle-aged man was the strongest level 2 magician in the group and was most likely their leader. Hearing this, the dark-skinned man frowned and did not immediately reply. Su Chen looked young, but his every move carried the aura of a king, causing him to involuntarily mutter. She didn't know that Su Chen was pretending. Or was it because of his strength that he had nothing to fear? The dark-skinned man didn't say anything, but the people around him were a little unhappy. A bulky young man stepped forward and harumphed coldly, "Kid, who do you think you are? If you know what's good for you, get the hell out of here. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died." Su Chen pursed his lips. "That's a good idea." As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud bang. The burly young man's head had inexplicably exploded. Just as he said before, he didn't even know how he died. Faced with such a strange situation, the people around the dark-skinned man were so scared that their faces turned pale. They all stepped back in unison. Although the dark-skinned man didn't move, his eyes were filled with a deep layer of fear. Others didn't know how the burly young man died, but he could guess. It was very likely that the young man in front of him used his spiritual energy to kill him, and to silently crush the head of a level 1 evolver. Only a level 3 magician or above could do it. Thinking of this, the dark-skinned man couldn't help but gulp and say with a trembling voice, "Senior, we're sorry for the offense. We'll leave now." "Did I say you could leave?" Su Chen harumphed coldly and released his spiritual energy to bind the dark-skinned man to the spot. He still hadn't found out the purpose of the other party's visit, so of course he wouldn't let him go. Moreover, he and En's colony already had a conflict. Even if this didn't happen, he wouldn't let him go so easily. Chapter 299. "Senior, please hold on." The dark-skinned man shouted. With his body restrained, his life was no longer in his own hands. If he wanted to live, he could only plead with the young man in front of him. The people around the dark-skinned man saw that their leader was being restrained and came to their senses. The young man in front of them was a telekinesis master, and an unusually powerful one at that. Previously, the death of the burly young man was secretly caused by him. After knowing Su Chen's identity, their expressions turned ugly, and they began to feel uneasy. "Tell me what's going on?" Su Chen stared at the dark-skinned man and asked coldly. The dark-skinned man swallowed his saliva and replied truthfully, "Senior, a large number of mutated people have appeared near the Huangzi Mountains. They are very powerful and bloodthirsty, so we had no choice but to come here." "You have no choice but to steal other people's gathering place?" Su Chen snorted coldly. The dark-skinned man trembled in fear and did not dare to let out a fart. Su Chen continued to ask, "What do those mutated people look like? How strong are they?" "They all look like turtles and they are very strong. They are at least level 1 evolvers," the dark-skinned man said with a trembling voice. Could it be the Green Turtle tribe? Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. In the deep pit of the Huangzi Mountains, there was a realm passage that led to the Green Turtle tribe. Coupled with the dark-skinned man's description, he was basically sure that it was the Green Turtle tribe. Speaking of which, he had even argued with a member of the Green Turtle tribe. He had heard about the Green Turtle tribe from that member of the tribe. Su Chen was not afraid of the appearance of the Green Turtle tribe. Instead, he was somewhat excited. The reason was simple: killing the mutated people would drop fragments. The population of a tribe must have reached a terrifying number. How many fragments would be dropped if all of them were killed? Su Chen was very much looking forward to it. When did those mutated people appear? Where are their hearts? Su Chen asked calmly. They appeared 5 days ago. They should be heading to King Kong City now, the dark-skinned man thought for a moment and replied. Looks like Vajra City is done for. Su Chen muttered to himself. Vajra City was originally considered a large gathering place, but after Huang Can and the other experts were killed by him, their strength had dropped to a freezing point. Every member of the Green Tortoise tribe was at least a level 1 evolver, so it was easy for them to take down King Kong City. Alright, I've asked all the questions I need to. Su Chen withdrew his mind power and said plainly. The dark-skinned man regained his freedom and a look of joy appeared on his face. He cupped his hands and said, "Thank you for not killing me, senior." Su Chen pursed his lips. You might have misunderstood. I never said that I would let you go. He didn't have any deep grudges with the dark-skinned man and the others, but a grudge had already been formed. Since they were already enemies, they had to cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to prevent future troubles. Senior, what do you mean? The smile on the dark-skinned man's face froze, and he kept retreating. The others didn't know what to do, and nervousness spread among them. It's simple, Su Chen pursed his lips and said mockingly, I want to break your heads. You want to kill us? The dark-skinned man was shocked and shouted, Brothers, let's fight him. Since Su Chen didn't want to let them go, they naturally wouldn't regret waiting for death. He didn't believe that they would be afraid of a high-level telekinesis master with hundreds of people. Chapter 300. Kill. In an instant, battle cries filled the air. The Tan Man and the others took out their weapons and charged at Su Chen. In the face of death, they had no other choice. Only by killing Su Chen would they have a chance to live. Hundreds of people joined forces and formed a rope. Their aura was extremely violent. Han Kuan was stunned by this aura. His expression changed slightly. However, he did not back down. Instead, he wanted to help Su Chen. His idea was simple. Su Chen was here to help him. He could not let Su Chen bear the brunt of his anger alone. However, just as he took a step forward, he was stopped by Wu Yang beside him. Captain Wu, Han Kuan frowned. He did not understand why Wu Yang stopped him. A meaningful smile hung on the corner of Wu Yang's mouth as he said faintly, "It's just a group of ants. They can't do anything in front of Su Chen. Let's just watch the show." Ants? Hundreds of people and dozens of evolvers were actually seen as a bunch of ants? Han Kuan frowned. He was even more confused. He had seen Su Chen's strength before. He had single-handedly grabbed Explosive Dragon Flame and killed a level 3 Black Flame Explosive Dragon with a single slash. However, the combined attack of dozens of evolvers was not to be underestimated. Were they really less than ants in front of Su Chen? With this kind of doubt, Han Kuan's gaze drifted to Su Chen. What happened next almost caused his jaw to drop. He saw Su Chen punch out. Shadows of fists appeared in the air and rained down with an earth-shattering force. Then a series of explosions rang out. Bam, bam, bam. One after another, it continued without end. After 100 explosions, the Tan Man and the others were all turned into a pile of meat paste. They could not be more dead. Gulp. Han Kuan swallowed his saliva. He was stunned. One punch, just one punch, and hundreds of experts were annihilated. Even though he had seen it with his own eyes, he still felt incredulous. At this moment, he also realized that Su Chen's strength had obviously increased by a level compared to the last time. If there was a word to describe Su Chen, it would be, Han Kuan could only think of one word, invincible. This was also Zhou Yun's first time seeing Su Chen use a killer move. At this moment, his mouth was so wide open that even his fist could be stuffed in. The other people in Fengxi were also shocked by Su Chen's punch. Other than being moved by Su Chen's strength, he was also secretly glad that Su Chen was the leader's friend. If it was an enemy, even if the thousands of them worked together, they wouldn't be able to withstand a single punch. "Brother Su, what level are you now?" After a long time, Han Kuan came back to his senses. He walked to Su Chen's side and asked in a daze. Su Chen smiled. "I just reached level 4 a few days ago." Hiss! Han Kuan sucked in a breath of cold air. He remembered clearly that the last time Su Chen came here, he was only level 3. After not seeing him for a few days, he was already level 4. This kind of cultivation talent could only be described as terrifying. Moreover, what was even more terrifying was that Su Chen was not even 20 years old. "Brother Han, I came here this time to ask for a favor." Seeing that Han Kuan was in a daze, Su Chen coughed softly. "Brother Su, you're too polite. If there's anything, just tell me. Even if I have to go through water and tread on fire, I'll definitely help you complete it," Han Kuan promised. Su Chen had saved Fengxi from danger twice. To him, Su Chen was tantamount to saving his life. Of course, he had to keep the matter of saving his life in mind. Su Chen called Zhou Yun to his side and said with a smile, "His name is Zhou Yun. He's also my friend. Please take care of him in the future." Han Kuan said solemnly, "Brother Su, don't worry. Zhou Yun will be my brother from now on." Chapter 301. After that, Su Chen chatted with Han Kuan for a while and gave him some seeds and sea monster corpses before leaving in a hurry. Originally, he planned to stay here for a day to catch up with Han Kuan. However, the appearance of the Green Turtle tribe changed his mind. Killing the aliens and getting their fragments was the most important thing. "Satoshi, head to King Kong City," Su Chen ordered as soon as he returned to the car. "Yes." The intelligent war chariot locked onto King Kong City and set off. "Su Chen, aren't we going to Tianen Colony?" Wu Yang asked curiously. Su Chen told him about the appearance of the Green Turtle tribe and their plan to attack King Kong City. Hearing this, everyone was a little excited and nervous. Although they had encountered aliens a few times before, they had never fought with them. The reason was that there were too few of them, and they were all killed by Su Chen's lightning-fast methods. The Green Turtle tribe was likely to be an entire tribe. Their numbers must have reached a terrifying number, and they could kill to their heart's content. Due to the distance from King Kong City, it would take at least 2 days. Su Chen took advantage of this time to gather everyone together and discuss countermeasures. After all, the Green Turtle tribe was not zombies. There were many strong people among them, and they would not be stupid enough to wait for you to kill them. If you did not prepare in advance, there might be casualties. 2 days later, the intelligent war chariot was infinitely close to King Kong City. It was less than 300 kilometers away. Su Chen's eyes were fixed on the central control screen. Suddenly he saw 2 light spots, one blue and one black, moving at high speed. The black spots that appeared nearby were most likely the Green Turtle tribe. In other words, the Green Turtle tribe was chasing after humans. Satoshi, lock onto them and chase after them, Su Chen ordered. He planned to capture the Green Turtle tribe members and understand the situation of the Green Turtle tribe. Yes. The intelligent war chariot turned around and sped toward the 2 light spots. After about an hour, the intelligent war chariot stopped. Not far away, 2 MCVs were speeding towards them. The car in front was obviously driven by a human, and the car behind it was from the Green Tortoise tribe. Su Chen glanced at the 2 minibuses and frowned. He felt that the MCV in front of him was very familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. After thinking hard for a while, he remembered. The owner of the MCV seemed to be Han Feng, whom he had met once. That day, on the way to the desolate Lake Mountain Range, he chatted with Han Feng for a while and even gave him a few fruits. He also learned that Han Feng was heading to King Kong City. Therefore, he was sure that the people in the MCV in front of him must be Han Feng and his wife, Chen Meihua. Su Chen had a good impression of Han Feng, so he naturally wouldn't just stand by and watch them get hunted down by the Green Turtle tribe. Satoshi, meet them, Su Chen ordered. Got it. With a loud bang, the intelligent war chariot rushed straight towards the 2 minibuses. Knowing that they had encountered the Green Turtle tribe's MCV, Yang Hao and the other 2 were eager to try again. Just as the 2 sides were about to get close, the MCV in front of them suddenly changed direction and sped toward the other side. At first, Su Chen was a little confused. He was clearly there to help Han Feng, so why did he run away? But soon, he realized that Han Feng was probably afraid of causing trouble for him, so he wanted to lead the Green Turtle tribe away. In the post-apocalyptic world, there were not many people with such a character. If it were someone else, in such a dangerous situation, who would care about your life and death? They would want to drag you down with them. Chapter 302. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen ordered the intelligent chariot to rush forward and stop the Green Tortoise tribe's MCV. Turikila, Turikila. With a roar, more than a dozen human-shaped turtles walked down from the MCV. They didn't look like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the cartoons he had seen in his previous life. They were all green and carried a turtle shell on their back. Old Turtle, is that you? Su Chen walked down from the MCV and spoke in their language. He felt that the voice of the Green Tortoise tribe member was familiar, and he wondered if it was the one who had bickered with him last time. Su Chen's shout stunned the dozen or so Green Tortoise clansmen. They didn't understand why a human could speak their language. But soon, a particularly tall Green Tortoise tribe member walked out. He first looked at Su Chen and then said, "Boy, are you the guy who talked to me in the Huangzi Mountain Range?" Su Chen curled the corner of his mouth and said with a smile, "Old Turtle, it's me. Why don't you kneel down and kowtow to me?" He was sure that the tall Green Tortoise tribe member in front of him was the one he had teased. Ha! The tall Green Tortoise tribe member laughed wildly and looked at Su Chen with contempt. He said with a sinister smile, "Boy, there's a way to heaven, but you don't want to take it. Let's see how you're going to escape this time." Ever since he was teased by Su Chen last time, he swore that he would tear Su Chen into pieces. These days, he had been looking for Su Chen's whereabouts, but to no avail. He didn't expect that Su Chen would take the initiative to come to him. Are all you aliens the same? Why do you all like to show off so much? Su Chen shook his head and said with disdain. In total, he had encountered quite a few outsiders. Almost every one of them threatened to teach him a lesson, but what happened in the end? Without exception, they all died in his hands. Therefore, the saying, acting tough will be struck by lightning, was not without reason. Hearing this, the tall green turtle's face darkened. He said fiercely, "Brat, I'll let you be arrogant for a while. You'll know how powerful I am later." As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped forward to capture Su Chen. But at this time, the MCV that had left before rushed back. Creak. After a sudden breaking sound, the MCV stopped beside Su Chen, and then Han Feng and Chen Meihua got out of the car. "Su Chen, leave these strange races to us. Hurry up and leave." Arriving beside Su Chen, Han Feng said anxiously. Although he didn't intentionally lure the strange races over, he still implicated Su Chen. He felt very apologetic in his heart, so he wanted to stop the strange races himself and give Su Chen a chance to escape. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said with a smile, "Brother Han, I came here specifically to catch these turtles." Han Feng could have taken the opportunity to leave, but he still took the risk and rushed back. This was not something that anyone could do. Involuntarily, his good impression of Han Feng improved a little. Catch turtles? Han Feng swallowed his saliva and almost choked to death by Su Chen's words. The turtles that Su Chen was talking about must be these strange races in front of him. But how could Su Chen be so arrogant? These strange races were all evolvers. Although he didn't know how strong Su Chen was too young. How strong could he be? "Su Chen, listen to my advice. Hurry up and leave. These strange races are too strong. Even King Kong City was captured by them." Han Feng was burning with anxiety and kept winking at Su Chen. Chapter 303. Trying to run? Do you think you can escape? The tall green tortoise sneered and waved his hand. The other green tortoises around him rushed towards Su Chen and the others. Wu Yang and the others were getting impatient, but they did not rush into action. They were waiting for Su Chen's decision. "Let's move around a bit," Su Chen said with a smile. Although the green tortoises were all evolvers, the strongest among them was only a level 2 evolver. Wu Yang alone could take care of them, let alone a group of them. Kill! With Su Chen's permission, Shi Danyu was the first to rush forward. "Human, you're courting death." On the other side, a one-eyed green tortoise roared and began to fight with Shi Danyu with a spiked club in hand. Yang Hao and the others were also scrambling to find an opponent. Han Feng also wanted to help, but Su Chen pulled him to the ground. "Su Chen." Han Feng was confused. He was a level 1 evolver, so why would Su Chen stop him from helping? Just watch the show. Su Chen's lips curled into a meaningful smile. While Han Feng was still confused, he was suddenly attracted by a scream. When he saw Shi Danyu smash a green tortoise tribesman into meat paste with a single strike, the expression on his face was extremely interesting. What was going on? The powerful mutated race was no match for him? Was there something wrong with his eyes? Han Feng rubbed his eyes hard. When he opened them again, he saw a level 2 green tortoise tribesman being cleaved in half by a middle-aged man with a rough face. Seeing this, Han Feng's mind buzzed, and the scene in front of him once again provoked him. The 3 women held 3 strange weapons in their hands. After 3 loud explosions, the 3 level 1 green tortoise tribesmen died on the spot. Since when was it so easy to kill a level 1 evolver? Han Feng swallowed his saliva and turned to look elsewhere. In his line of sight, a puppet made entirely out of metal grabbed a level 2 green tortoise tribesman and crushed his head with one hand. It was as if he was crushing an ant instead of an evolver. At this moment, he clearly understood that the people around Su Chen were all evolvers, and they were all at least level 2. Especially that metal puppet, it was at least a level 3 puppet. Thinking of this, Han Feng's heart was in turmoil. 8 evolvers of level 2 and above. A puppet that was at least level 3. In addition, there were 3 level 2 mutated wolves. Such a lineup was enough to crush a medium-sized base. Moreover, Su Qin had yet to make a move. It seemed that he was the true leader of this powerful team. To be able to become a leader, one's strength must be a cut above the rest. Could it be a level 4 evolver? Han Kuan sucked in a breath of cold air. He didn't dare to imagine further. A level 4 evolver less than 20 years old was too frightening. No wonder he said he wanted to catch turtles. It seems that he wasn't bluffing or showing off. It turns out that he really has the ability to do so. Han Feng stared at Su Qin in a daze, his heart filled with endless emotions. The tall green tortoise tribesman opposite him was dumbfounded. His subordinates had been slaughtered in the blink of an eye. It felt very surreal. Previously, the green tortoise tribe had slaughtered everyone in King Kong City. The humans had been slaughtered until they covered their heads and fled like rats, unable to fight back. Therefore, he believed that humans were weak. But the scene in front of him gave him a crisp slap in the face. Chapter 304. The tall green tortoise knew that he could not fight against this group of powerhouses by himself. If he wanted to live, he had to leave this place as soon as possible. Thinking of this, he turned around and went back into the MCV. The moment he turned around, he thought to himself, "When I come back with my army, none of you will be able to escape. I will let you live for a while." Unfortunately, Su Chen would not give him the chance to escape. The tall green tortoise took 2 steps forward and was shocked to find that his body was firmly bound by an invisible force. No matter how hard he struggled, he could not move at all. Level 4 psychic power. The tall green tortoise was shocked. He was a level 3 evolver. Only a level 4 spirit reader master or above could make him stay still. A level 4 psychic master was already comparable to their patriarch. Thinking that he had provoked such a powerful psychic master, he felt a chill in his heart. "Old tortoise, I said last time that as long as the green tortoise tribe dares to appear in front of me, I will kill all of you. Now you know that I was not lying, right?" Su Chen smiled as he walked in front of the tall green tortoise. "You are a level 4 psychic master?" The tall green tortoise stared at Su Chen with his eyes wide open, and the corners of his mouth trembled. "You don't need to worry about that." Su Chen curled his lips and said in a deep voice, "How many green tortoise tribe members have come out this time? Answer me truthfully, and you can avoid physical pain." "You want to threaten me?" The tall green tortoise clenched his teeth and said coldly, "Human, I advise you to let me go quickly. Otherwise, the green tortoise tribe's army will—" Before the tall green tortoise finished speaking, he suddenly screamed. It turned out that Su Chen had cut off one of his arms. The tall green tortoise obviously did not understand the current situation. His life was in danger, and he still dared to threaten? Su Chen would not let him go. "Human, how dare you hurt me? You are finished. You are dead." The tall green tortoise endured the pain and cursed Su Chen. He gritted his teeth as if he wanted to eat Su Chen alive. "It's been a long time since I've met an outsider with such a strong backbone like you." Su Chen rubbed his nose and swung his sword again, cutting off the other arm of the tall green tortoise tribesman. A shrill scream pierced through the sky and reverberated through the vast plains. Not far away, Han Kuan could not help but shiver. In his eyes, Su Chen was handsome and had an extraordinary bearing. He could not be associated with a ruthless person at all. Who would have thought that Su Chen would be so ruthless and unscrupulous when he made a move? It made his hair stand on end. Su Chen cut off 2 of the tall green tortoise's arms as if he had done something insignificant. Staring at the other party, a meaningful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Old turtle, your persistence has won my respect. So, I've decided to use other methods to torture you until you speak." Hearing this, the tall green tortoise collapsed. He no longer persisted. "We have a total of 10,000 tribesmen. Don't torture me anymore. Just give me a quick death." "Only 10,000? Su Chen frowned. This was not enough to satisfy him. At most, he would only be able to get 1,000 fragments. Why so little? Is the green tortoise tribe so weak? Suchin asked in a low voice. The green tortoise tribe has millions of people. However, because the interrealm passageway has not been completely stabilized, only 10,000 have come out. The tall green tortoise sighed and replied honestly. Chapter 305. Millions of tribesmen seemed like a lot, but for a race, it was too little. Moreover, the strongest person in the race was only at level 4. From this, it could be seen that the green turtle race was definitely the weakest race among the 10,000 races. They were even weaker than the human race. Suchin couldn't help but look down on the green turtle race. Alright, I've said what I needed to say. Give me a quick death. Seeing that Suchin wasn't saying anything, the tall green turtle race tribesman took the initiative to ask for death. Suchin sneered. Are you in such a hurry to die? Isn't it good to live? The tall green turtle race tribesman gritted his teeth and cursed in his heart. Who the hell wants to die? Who am I to decide whether to die or not? The main reason he wanted to die was that he was afraid of being tortured by Suchin again. Hurry up and do it, the tall green turtle race tribesman urged. There's no hurry. There's one more thing. Once I confirm it, I'll send you on your way. Suchin chuckled and continued asking, Has your chief come out? No, the tall green turtle race tribesman said bluntly. As the chief of a race, a single move would affect the entire situation. Although the human race was weak in their eyes, they wouldn't let their chief take the risk without knowing the specific situation. Suchin was slightly disappointed. If the chief of the green turtle race was here, he could have killed him. If that happened, the green turtle race would be in chaos. Suchin had asked all the questions he needed to ask. He was very trustworthy. He punched the head of the tall green turtle race tribesman. The moment the tall green turtle race tribesman fell, a black beam of light flashed. Suchin grabbed it. Picked up Xianyuan Divine Sword, Fragment X1, 250. Fragment not enough, cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. Exchanged for energy points. The Xianyuan Divine Sword had dropped when he killed the blood plant. After that, it hadn't appeared. Without enough fragments, Suchin didn't know what the Xianyuan Divine Sword was used for. However, the fact that he needed 50 fragments was enough to prove that it was at least a divine weapon. Suchin was determined to get the Xianyuan Divine Sword. The reason why he exchanged this fragment for energy points was because he wanted to use energy points to exchange for it. After a while, he walked towards the other fragments. The green tortoise tribesman that Wu Yang and the others had killed had also dropped 3 fragments. There was no reason not to pick them up. Suchin reached out and grabbed a yellow fragment. Picked up Eternal Youth Fruit, Fragment X1, 2-10. Fragment not full, cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. The Fruit of Eternal Youth didn't require a lot of them, and the difficulty of collecting them was much lower. Moreover, it was something that Suchin was determined to obtain, so he naturally wasn't willing to exchange for it. Next, he grabbed a purple fragment. Picked up Northern Ice Fragment, *1. 5/10. Fragment is not full, so it cannot be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. Northern Frost Ice was a materialization of the ice element, and it could increase the power of the ice element. Of course, he had to keep it. The last fragment was black. Suchin didn't hesitate and grabbed it. Picked up Earth Vein Fire Meteor, Fragment X1, 10/10. Fragment is full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Suchin was very excited. After saying that, he opened the storage bag and checked. When he saw that there was a red stone of the same size beside the Big Dipper star fragment stone, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. Chapter 306. Through the feedback, Suchin learned that the Earth Vein Fire Meteorite weighed 5,000 kilograms, the same as the Big Dipper star fragment stone. The difference was that the Big Dipper star fragment stone had the power of the stars and could produce a binding force. The earth vein fire meteor possessed the scorching effect of the earth fire, which was similar to the effect of fire magic spells. After picking up the shards, Suchen walked up to Han Feng and asked with a smile, "Brother Han, what do you plan to do next?" Han Feng came back to his senses and shook his head blankly. Originally, he had wanted to settle down in Vajra City. However, Vajra City had been conquered by the Green Turtle tribe, and he had escaped from there. As for where he would go in the future, he had no plan at all. It was not that he did not want to, but it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to find a stable place to live in the apocalypse. Suchen thought for a moment and said, "You should go to Fengshi settlement. Their leader is my friend." Hearing this, Han Feng's eyes lit up. He had heard of a wind-type settlement before. Although it was only a small settlement, the atmosphere there was very good. Their leader was a very responsible and capable person. It could be said that it was a very good place for Han Feng to settle down. Moreover, with Su Chen's relationship, he would not be stopped from joining Fengshi settlement. He would even be put in an important position. "Su Chen, thank you so much." Han Feng thanked sincerely. Speaking of which, he had only met Su Chen twice. The first time, Su Chen had given him food. This time, Su Chen had saved him. Han Feng did not know what to say to express his gratitude to Su Chen. Su Chen waved his hand and said casually, "All right, you guys hurry up. I still have to go to Vajra City." There were still 10,000 Green Turtle tribe members waiting to be killed in Vajra City. He could not wait. "Su Chen, you're not going to kill the mutated people, are you?" Han Feng's expression changed as he tried to sound him out. Su Chen and the others were very strong, but there were thousands of mutated people in Vajra City. The mutated people were much stronger than the zombies. Wouldn't it be suicide to go there rashly? Su Chen smiled and did not explain. He only said, "When you reach Fengshi settlement, say that you're my friend. They will treat you well." After saying this, Su Chen led everyone back to the intelligent chariot. He said goodbye to Han Feng and left. Seeing the intelligent war chariot disappear from his sight, Han Feng fell silent. At this time, Su came forward and whispered, "What should we do?" Han Feng gritted his teeth. "Let's go to King Kong City as well." In his opinion, Su Chen's trip to Vajra City was most likely not Fengshi. Although his strength was low, he was still a level 1 evolver, so he could at least contribute some strength. Of course, he also knew that he might lose his life in this trip. But no matter what, his life was saved by Su Chen. It was reasonable for him to go and help. More than an hour later, the intelligent chariot slowly approached Vajra City. At this time, Vajra City's former grandeur was gone. The entire city was shrouded in a layer of blood-red fog. It was heavy and oppressive. Mournful screams and crazy shouts could be heard faintly. There was no doubt that Vajra City was facing a disaster. Su Chen stood in front of the chariot and looked around. He saw that there were not only a large number of Green Turtle tribe members around Vajra City, but also thousands of zombies. He knew that the Green Turtle tribe had the ability to control zombies. It was obvious that the Green Turtle tribe had gathered some zombies around and attacked Vajra City together. "Prepare for battle. Kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive," Su Chen said in a low voice. Chapter 307. The intelligent chariot sped up and headed toward the city gate. Most of the Green Tortoise people and zombies were gathered at the city gate. It was the best place to hunt. The arrival of the intelligent chariot quickly attracted the attention of the other party. Suddenly, a large number of Green Tortoise people and zombies rushed over. "Satoshi, stop," Su Chen ordered. When the intelligent chariot stopped, he was the first to rush out. The others followed closely behind Su Chen and got out of the chariot one after another. According to the previous plan, they did not fight alone this time. Wu Yang and Yang Lingtian teamed up. Both of them were level 3 evolvers, so they would not have a problem even if they were to fight against the Green Tortoise people. The remaining people formed a large team. Tan Lin and the other 2 girls used the pulse pistol to shoot from afar. Yang Hao and the 3 mutated wolves were in charge of defense. Su Chen and the mechanical soldiers were too strong, so they killed the enemies alone. Soon, the two sides clashed fiercely. As Su Chen and the others attacked, the green tortoise people and zombies who rushed forward first fell in droves. Then the intelligent chariot also activated its killing mode. Ta-ta-ta, da-dip-bang, boom. Ungraded Gatling gun, level 2 pulse cannon, and magnetic storm net were all unleashed, harvesting lives like harvesting wheat. In the blink of an eye, thousands of zombies and green tortoise people were killed. At the city gate, there was a sea of blood. It was like purgatory. Su Chen was in the mood to kill. He rushed to the city gate alone with his sword. Anyone who tried to stop him was cut in half. Whether it was zombies or green tortoise people, no one was a match for him. They all became ghosts under his sword. Gradually, Su Chen killed thousands of zombies and green tortoise tribesmen on his own. His hunting speed was not much slower than the intelligent war chariot. The green tortoise people joined forces with dozens of elites to kill Su Chen, but they were all killed by Su Chen with a single slash. Seeing this, all of the green tortoise tribe members were terrified. Although they had a large number of people and tens of thousands of zombies to assist them, they did not have the slightest bit of courage to fight against Su Chen, who was a killing god. Su Chen's strength had completely exceeded their understanding. It also made them realize that numbers were just a concept in front of a true powerhouse. No matter how many of them there were, they wouldn't be able to withstand a single slash. After realizing this, the few remaining powerhouses of the green tortoise tribe started to make plans. If they continued to stay here, they would definitely be slaughtered. They had to leave as soon as possible. After some discussion, they decided to let the zombies block Su Chen and the others while they led their clansmen to escape. All of a sudden, the zombies, whether they were outside the city or inside the city, gathered together and charged toward Su. For a moment, Su Chen was drowned by the zombie tide. However, the ancient god-fiend body was immune to all attacks of the same level. Furthermore, the highest level among the zombies was only level 2. Wanting to hurt Su Chen was no different from wishful thinking. Moreover, the zombies were all gathered together, which made it easier to kill them. Su Chen kept casting spells. Every spell would kill hundreds of zombies. However, although his killing speed was fast, there were still more than 10,000 zombies. It was impossible to kill all of them in a short time. The green tortoise tribe members took advantage of the time when Su Chen was trapped to escape in one direction. Naturally, Su Chen would not let them escape. He raised his voice and shouted to Wu Yang, "Captain Wu, stop the zombies. I'll go after the turtles." Wu Yang did not say anything and rushed forward with his men. Su Chen used the Pegasus Meteor Punch to kill all the zombies in front of him. Then, he activated the Rapid Combat Boots and chased after the Green Tortoise tribe members. Chapter 308. Behind them, a very strange scene appeared on the vast plain. Thousands of Green Tortoise tribesmen were killed by Su Chen alone. Their corpses were strewn all over the place. It was a tragic sight. At the same time, Han Feng arrived in his MCV. When he saw the scene in front of him, he was completely petrified. At this moment, he didn't know what words to use to describe Su Chen's strength. Su Chen is too strong. Do we still have to go there? After a long time, Su Meihua walked to Han Feng's side and said with a trembling voice. Han Feng came back to his senses and took a deep breath. "Let's go to the Fengshi colony." Seeing Su Chen killing everyone, he couldn't help much if he stayed here. He turned the MCV around and drove toward the Fengshi colony. On the other side, Su Chen was still hunting the green turtles. The green turtles saw that the situation was not good and scattered to escape. This also caused Su Chen to be unable to kill them all. In the end, hundreds of them escaped. Considering that there were still a lot of fragments to pick up, he didn't chase after them. He also didn't plan to help Wu Yang. There were only a few thousand zombies left. With the intelligent chariot, it wouldn't take long to kill them all. Su Chen stood in place and glanced around. Soon, thousands of colorful light beams appeared in his sight. Seeing this, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. He sighed and said, It's still better to kill the aliens. There were only 7 or 8,000 green turtles killed, but more than 1,000 fragments dropped. The probability of fragments dropping was still very high. If it were the same number of zombies, at most 700 or 800 fragments would drop. There was a big gap between the two. After a while, Su Chen sighed and started to pick up fragments. An hour later, he finished picking up more than 1,000 fragments and returned to the gate of King Kong City. Wu Yang and the others had killed all the zombies and were now digging for energy stones. Su Chen greeted everyone and squinted his eyes as he scanned the surroundings. There were about 1,000 fragments here, and he was looking for purple gold fragments. Almost all the fragments he had picked up earlier had been exchanged for energy points. The total number of energy points had exceeded 9,000. If he could get his hands on a purple gold fragment, his energy points would break through the 10,000 mark. Then, he would be able to exchange for the through heaven hundredfold great strength technique that he had coveted for a long time. Soon, Su Chen discovered that there was a purple gold fragment near the city gate. A surge of excitement suddenly surged in his heart. Then, he excitedly ran forward and grabbed the purple gold fragment. Picked up 2,000 energy points, fragment *111. The fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. After saying that, Su Chen hurriedly started to check the Doomsday Shopping Center. When he saw that the energy points had reached 11,026 points, he laughed wantonly. Wu Yang and the others were already accustomed to this, and they withdrew their gazes and continued to dig for energy stones. Su Chen was not in a hurry to exchange for the through heaven hundredfold great strength technique. He calmed himself down and continued to pick up fragments. With this purple gold fragment as a foundation, he did not care about the remaining fragments, regardless of their quality. Picked up Level 3 Constitution Potion, fragment *111. The fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Picked up Potato Seed, fragment *111. The fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Exchange for energy points. Chapter 309. Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and seemed to be resting with his eyes closed. In fact, he had opened the Doomsday Mall to check. The fragments that he had just picked up had basically been exchanged for energy points. Now, he had a total of 12,000 energy points. He could already exchange for one of the heavenly 100x strength technique, Illusionary Blaze Feather Divine Dragon, Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword, and 10,000 Lights Fighting Technique. As for the Blade of Divine Sense, War God Armor, and Xinyuan Divine Sword, he could exchange for 2 of them. Su Chen hesitated for a moment and spent 10,000 energy points to exchange for the heavenly 100x strength technique. After the exchange, the feedback was quickly transmitted to his mind. The heavenly 100x strength technique was the same as the ancient god-demon body. The difference was that the ancient god-demon body tempered the physical body, while the heavenly 100x strength technique increased one's strength. The extent of the increase was 100 times of one's strength. For example, if Su Chen could carry 50 kilograms of weight after using the heavenly 100x strength technique, he could carry 10,000 kilograms of weight. Of course, with Su Chen's strength as a level 4 evolver, he could carry at least 500 kilograms of weight. Correspondingly, after using the heavenly 100x strength technique, his strength would reach a terrifying 100,000 kilograms. Now, he could casually use the Big Dipper Star Fragment Stone and Earth Vein Fire Meteorite to smash people. Without a doubt, after obtaining the heavenly 100x strength technique, Su Chen's strength had greatly increased. He had once again taken a big step forward on the path of invincibility. Awesome! Su Chen clenched his fists, unable to hide his excitement. After a long time, he calmed down and looked at the central control screen. He began to search for the whereabouts of zombies and mutant beasts. Unfortunately, there was not a single red dot on the central control screen. The Intelligent War Chariot's detection range was 200 kilometers, which meant that there were no zombies or mutant beasts within 200 kilometers. Without zombies to kill, he would not be able to obtain fragments. Su Chen would definitely not be satisfied. After pondering for a while, he turned his attention to the Green Turtle clan. The Green Tortoise tribesmen who had escaped earlier must have fled back to the mines in the Huangzi mountain range. Furthermore, there was a passageway leading to the Green Turtle tribe in the mine. That inter-realm passageway was of utmost importance to the Green Turtle race. In that case, if he wanted to destroy this realm passage, would the Green Turtle tribe come out to stop him? The Green Turtle tribe had millions of people. How could they just watch as the realm passage was destroyed? At that time, he would be able to hunt down another group of Green Turtle tribe members. Thinking of this, the corners of Su Chen's mouth curled up. Then he ordered the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, go to the mine in the Huangzi mountains. Got it. The intelligent war chariot was ignited, and its target was the Huangzi mountain range. Vajra City was more than 1,000 miles away from the Huangzi mountain range. Even with the speed of the intelligent war chariot, it would still take nearly 10 hours. Su Chen wasn't in a hurry. After all, the Green Turtle tribe couldn't run away. With this period of time as a buffer, everyone could take a break. After that, Su Chen took out the omnipotent pressure cooker and the omnipotent oven and started to prepare food. It didn't matter whether it was time to eat or not. After such a big battle, he had to replenish his food. Chapter 310. An hour later, when the intelligent war chariot was about to reach the mine, Su Chen found on the central control screen that the location of the mine pit was surrounded by a large number of red and black dots. He thought that the Green Tortoise tribe was working with the zombies again. However, when he approached the mine, he found that it was not the case. There were thousands of Green Tortoise tribe members gathered at the edge of the mine, but there were no zombies. Instead, there were thousands of mutant beasts. How did the Green Tortoise tribe get together with the mutant beasts? Everyone was puzzled. Su Chen suddenly remembered that a few days ago, when the tide of beasts and zombies broke out here, the zombies and mutant beasts were working together. Now, he could not help but think that the Green Tortoise tribe was controlling the zombies and mutant beasts. Su Chen, what should we do? Wu Yang asked. The Green Tortoise tribe and the mutant beasts seemed to be prepared, and he could not help but be vigilant. Although Su Chen found it strange, he was not afraid at all. He said to the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, drive over there and take a look. The intelligent war chariot drove straight ahead. When it was about 10 meters away from the Green Tortoise tribe, it stopped this time. Just in case, Su Chen asked the others to stay in the chariot while he got out with the mechanical soldiers. It's just as I expected. Human, you've finally come to die. As soon as Su Chen got out of the chariot, a dark Green Tortoise tribe member walked out from the Green Tortoise tribe opposite him and shouted at Su Chen. Su Chen rubbed his nose and looked at the other party. He said calmly, "You are the chief of the Green Tortoise tribe, right?" Since he could call himself king, he must have a high status in the Green Tortoise tribe. Therefore, he suspected that he was the chief of the Green Tortoise tribe. "Boy, I am the chief of the Green Tortoise tribe." The dark Green Tortoise tribe member replied proudly. Then, he smiled darkly and said, "Boy, let's see how you can escape from me this time." As soon as he finished speaking, he signaled with his eyes. The Green Tortoise tribesmen around him rushed forward and surrounded Su Chen and the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen was a little confused by the Green Turtle tribe's arrogance and fearlessness. Logically speaking, they should be aware of the methods he had used to kill the Green Turtle race and the zombies. Then why did the other party still dare to do this? Did they think that with a level 4 evolutionary as their clan leader, they could easily bully him? Although he was doubtful, Su did not take it to heart. He sneered and said, "You want to kill me with just a bunch of shrimps?" The Green Turtle patriarch snorted and said coldly, "I have to admit that you are indeed very strong. However, you are too arrogant. You don't know that there is always someone better than you. There are many people in this world who can kill you. Hee hee." As soon as he finished speaking, A cold and eerie laugh came from behind him. Then, a middle-aged man with dark skin and a body like a dead tree slowly walked forward. Su Chen's eyebrows twitched when he felt a layer of death aura around him. He asked, "Are you from the undead tribe?" When he was in Etian City, he had killed 3 undead tribe members. The middle-aged man in front of him was very similar to the 3 undead tribe members in terms of appearance and aura. "Boy, how do you know about the undead tribe?" The middle-aged man's brows furrowed deeply, and his pair of gloomy and cold eyes kept darting around. Su Chen curled his lips and laughed. "Not only have I seen them, but I have also killed 3. However, they were too weak. They were only level 3. You should be stronger than them, right?" Chapter 311. Hearing this, the undead tribe member's face twitched. He gritted his teeth and roared, "Human, you've completely infuriated me. I'll make you beg for death later." As one of the 5 great races, they had always been the ones who killed people from other races wantonly. When had they ever been killed by others? Moreover, the one who killed their people was a weak human. This was even more unbearable for him. At this moment, he secretly swore that he would skin this human in front of him to relieve the hatred in his heart. "Do you only know how to talk? I'll stand here and wait for you. Come and kill me if you can." Su Chen hooked his finger and sneered contemptuously. "Don't worry, I'll definitely kill you, but I'm not in a hurry." The undead tribe member snorted and turned to look at the green turtle tribe leader. The latter nodded slightly and then began to mutter. Not long after, a huge pressure rushed out from the mine pit. Then, with a tremor, a green turtle the size of a small mountain crawled out from the mine pit. Dong dong. After a few tremors, the big turtle crawled to the side of the green turtle tribe leader. "Ah, my tribe's sacred beast is here. Human, this time I'll definitely suppress you completely." The green turtle tribe leader laughed wildly. That arrogant look made it seem as if the appearance of this sacred beast turtle had foretold Su Chen's death. "A mere level 5 mutated beast is your trump card?" Su Chen sneered. It was not like he had never seen a level 5 mutated beast before. In the pet breeding space, there was a heavenly overlord turtle that he had subdued. If he were to release him at this time, he wondered what the other party would think. "Arrogant." The green turtle tribe leader scolded and turned to the sacred beast turtle. He said respectfully, "Lord Sacred Beast, please kill this arrogant human." The sacred beast turtle stared coldly at Su Chen. It did not hide the murderous intent in its eyes. Su Chen's previous words had completely infuriated it. As a sacred beast, its dignity could not be blasphemed. Woo woo. Suddenly, the turtle let out a muffled roar. The roar didn't sound like anything special, but when the mutant beasts heard it, they rushed towards Su Chen as if they had received an order. "So, these mutant beasts are under the control of this big turtle." Su Chen suddenly realized something and swept out his blade. In an instant, a gray wave of air appeared in front of the blade and rushed into the group of mutated beasts. Poochie, poochie, sounds of flesh being penetrated could be heard continuously. The hundreds of mutated beasts at the front were all cut in half and died on the spot. Seeing this, the expressions of the undead race and the green turtle race's patriarch became unsightly. They had long known that Su Chen was very powerful. However, he definitely did not expect that he would be so powerful. He could kill hundreds of mutated beasts with a single slash. His strength was almost on par with a level 5 cultivator. Moreover, they also judged that Su Chen was most likely a level 4 evolver and a level 4 spellcaster. They had seen many level 4 cultivators with a single profession, but they had never heard of a level 4 cultivator with 2 professions. "I'm afraid we are no match for this guy," the undead race muttered with a serious expression. Su Chen's previous slash had made him feel a sense of trepidation. He also knew that there was no way he could block this slash with his own skills. In the field, the only one who could suppress Su Chen was the level 5 sacred beast turtle. The green turtle race's patriarch understood what he meant. He turned to the sacred beast turtle and pleaded, "Lord Sacred Beast, please do it yourself." Chapter 312. Roar. The sacred beast tortoise raised its head and roared, releasing a terrifying pressure once again. Some of the green tortoise tribesmen who were close to the tortoise were swayed from side to side, and the mutated beasts were inexplicably frightened and trembling. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the sacred beast tortoise. He thought to himself, should I kill this big tortoise and barbecue it? Or make soup? After all, he had not eaten the meat of a level 5 mutated beast before, so he was still looking forward to it. Dong dong. At this moment, the sacred beast tortoise rushed towards Su Chen. Although its body was huge, its speed was extremely fast. It appeared in front of Su Chen in the blink of an eye and raised a big claw to slap Su Chen's head. Su Chen stood still on the spot. Just as the sacred beast tortoise's claw was about to slap him, a bright golden light flashed on his arm. Immediately he grabbed upwards. Overestimating himself. A mantis trying to stop a chariot. Seeing this, the green tortoise tribe leader and the undead tribesmen were wild with joy. Su Chen did not dodge. Choosing to fight the sacred beast tortoise head-on was tantamount to suicide. The level 5 sacred beast tortoise was extremely powerful. How could a human cultivator resist it? Moreover, Su Chen was only a level 4 evolver, which was one level lower than the sacred beast tortoise. It was even more impossible for him to be a match for the sacred beast tortoise. At this moment, the green tortoise tribe leader and the undead tribesmen regarded Su Chen as a dead man. However, the next moment, the two of them were completely dumbfounded. They saw that not only was Su Chen not killed by the claw, but after blocking the attack, he raised the sacred beast tortoise above his head with one hand. What was going on? The sacred beast tortoise weighed tens of thousands of pounds. How could it be lifted into the air with one hand? Were their eyes playing tricks on them? Or were they dreaming? This strange situation was not only incomprehensible to the green tortoise tribe leader and the undead tribesmen, but even Wu Yang and the others in the car were so shocked that they could not close their mouths. How strong was Su Chen to be able to lift a mutant beast that weighed tens of thousands of pounds with one hand? Su Chen was a human, not a god of strength. How did he do it? Boom! With a violent crash, Su Chen threw the sacred beast tortoise to the ground, directly smashing a deep hole in the ground. Witnessing this unbelievable scene, the surroundings suddenly fell into a strange silence. Everyone's jaws dropped. Their expressions were blank as if they had been petrified. Su Chen's action of throwing the sacred beast tortoise to the ground gave them an unprecedented psychological impact. At this moment, there was only one thought in their minds. Su Chen wasn't human. He was a god with infinite strength. Chen Gu is too strong. Yang Hao swallowed his saliva and murmured. Shi Danyu and Chao Ran also agreed, strong to the point of reaching the heavens, awesome to the extreme. Although Wu Yang did not speak, his heart was in turmoil. Su Chen was improving every time he fought, and this time, he was even more shocked. What was invincible? Only a strong person like Su Chen was worthy of the word invincible. On the other side, the sacred beast tortoise lay sprawled in the deep crater, its huge head hanging down. At this moment, it was dizzy from the fall. It had mixed feelings in its heart. There was confusion, shame, and deep fear. It could not understand why a level 5 mutant beast like itself could not even resist in front of a human and was thrown to the ground like a dead dog. The undead tribesman came to his senses and looked at the green tortoise tribe leader. The two of them seemed to have a tacit understanding and turned to flee toward the mine at the same time. You want to leave now? Can you make it in time? The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly. He instantly activated the rapid boots and chased after him like a whirlwind. Chapter 313. After activating the rapid combat boots, Su Chen's speed had completely surpassed that of a level 5 evolved being. In just a few breaths, he had already caught up with the patriarch of the green turtle tribe. Fight it out with him. Seeing that they could not escape, the undead tribe member turned around and threw a punch at Su Chen. This punch was not simple as it was surrounded by a thick death aura. It was the undead tribe's natal corpse poison. However, Su Chen had the ancient god-fiend body and was immune to all poisons and evil. This little bit of corpse poison could not do anything to him at all. At this moment, the Green Turtle tribe member also turned around and slashed at Su Chen with his sword. Facing the attacks of two powerhouses of the same level, Su Chen did not dodge and allowed the sword and fist to hit his body. There were two loud bangs. The undead tribe member's fist and the Green Turtle tribe leader's sword hit Su Chen accurately, but they were strangely bounced off. The ancient god-fiend body was immune to all attacks of the same level. How would the two of them know this? The undead tribe member widened his eyes and stared at Su Chen as if he had seen a ghost. He really didn't understand why his powerful attack, coupled with the help of his life-origin corpse poison, couldn't even hurt Su Chen a little bit. The Green Turtle tribe leader next to him was even more frightened and trembled all over. Just as they were in a daze, Su Chen made his move. With a sweep of his sword, a violent torrent of thunder and lightning swept forward and drowned the Green Turtle tribe leader and the Green Turtle tribe leader in the blink of an eye. Under the raging thunder and lightning, the Green Turtle tribe leader and the Green Turtle tribe leader immediately turned into two pieces of ashes. The other members of the Green Tortoise tribe didn't dare to stay any longer when they saw that their tribe leader had been hacked into pieces. They all fled towards the mine for their lives. "Satoshi, do it!" Su Chen shouted loudly. The intelligent war chariot received the order and fired at full power, continuously slaughtering the green turtles and mutated beasts. Wu Yang and the others also got out of the chariot and chased after the green turtles. Su Chen did not join in the chase. There was still a level 5 sacred beast tortoise waiting to be dealt with. When Su Chen returned, the sacred beast tortoise had just emerged from the pit and collided with Su Chen. Hee. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and a Pegasus meteor punch smashed over. Bang bang bang. The sacred beast tortoise was once again smashed into the pit with a thunderous sound that sounded like raindrops hitting a banana leaf. After suffering such a fierce and concentrated attack, its tortoise shell was smashed, and its aura was also extremely weak. It seemed that it would not be able to survive. Su Chen walked forward. Just as he was about to finish the job, he received a very strong signal. This signal came from the pet feeding space. To be more precise, it came from the Heavenly Overlord Turtle. Su Chen was a little confused. He didn't know what the Heavenly Overlord Turtle wanted to do, so he released it from the pet breeding space. As soon as the Heavenly Overlord Turtle appeared, it excitedly rushed into the pit. Su Chen was confused. He chased after it and saw that the Heavenly Overlord Turtle had bitten off the sacred beast tortoise's head. Crunch, crunch. After that, it started to chew, looking like it was enjoying itself. *CK. Su Chen was stunned. At first, he didn't know what the Heavenly Overlord Turtle wanted to do, but now he understood. This guy wanted to snatch food from him. Su Chen was a little unhappy. He jumped down and slapped the Heavenly Overlord Turtle's head. "How many sea monsters and mutated beasts have I left for you? Is it not enough for you to eat? How dare you snatch food from me?" "Woo woo." The Heavenly Overlord Turtle hurriedly shook its head. It looked like it had something to say, but it couldn't say it. Chapter 3:14. Su Chen muttered in his heart, "This guy doesn't seem to be just after food." Since he couldn't communicate with the Heavenly Overlord Turtle, he couldn't figure out the reason. Su Chen simply put the corpses of the Heavenly Overlord Turtle and the Holy Turtle into the pet breeding space. After all, they were his spiritual pets. He could just treat it as improving its diet. Later, he also joined in the hunt. In just a short 10 minutes, the Green Tortoise tribesmen were basically all killed. Only a few escaped. On the other hand, the mutated beasts were very agile. Most of them escaped into the Huangzi Mountains. Su Chen couldn't be bothered to chase after them. He started to pick up the fragments. This time, he didn't kill many Green Tortoise tribesmen and mutated beasts. He only obtained about 200 fragments. Su Chen grabbed a black fragment. A strange voice sounded in his mind. Picked up, Green Mountain Quenching Wood Stone Fragment, X1, 110. The fragments are not full. Cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After saying this, Su Chen started to ponder. From the name, Green Mountain Quenching Wood Stone, it should be something like a god's stone. So far, he had obtained two. They were Earth Vein Fire Meteorite and Big Dipper Star Fragment Stone. After obtaining another god's stone fragment, he started to think about it. If he used the fusion gem to fuse all the stones together, the weight would definitely increase by several times. If he fused a few more pieces and accumulated the weight to 50,000 kilograms, wouldn't he be able to smash anyone to death if he used it with the Heavenly Hundredfold Strength technique? How many people could withstand the weight of 50,000 kilograms? Thinking of this, Su Chen was a little excited. He decided to study it when he had time. After a while, he calmed down and continued to pick up the fragments. After picking up hundreds of fragments in a row, there was suddenly a violent explosion in the mine. Then, there was a tremor like the earth was shaking. Su Chen looked in the direction of the mine. In his line of sight, smoke and dust curled up. The mine began to slowly collapse and eventually turned into ruins. He could imagine that the collapse of the mine must have been caused by the explosion of the interdomain passage. The Green Turtle tribe must have been the one who destroyed the interrealm passageway. The reason was very simple. Their clan leader and holy beasts had been killed one after another, and their top-notch combat forces had been exhausted. They were worried that he would take advantage of the opportunity to kill his way in, so they decided to go all out and blow up the realm passageway. These fellows are slow to realize. Su Chen muttered and continued to pick up the fragments. Originally, he really did plan to enter the Green Turtle tribe's territory, but now he could only extinguish that thought. Half an hour later, the fragments were collected and the energy stones were dug out. Su Chen and the others returned to the intelligent war chariot. For the first time, Su Chen opened the pet-raising space to check. Inside the space, the Saint Beast tortoise had already been eaten, leaving only a broken tortoise shell. The Heavenly Overlord tortoise, on the other hand, was sleeping soundly on the ground after eating its fill. He can really eat a lot. Su Chen snorted and was about to close the pet-raising space. However, he was surprised to discover that the Heavenly Overlord turtle's aura was rising steadily. Advance! Su Chen was pleasantly surprised. The Heavenly Overlord turtle was now a level 5 mutant beast. After it advanced, it would become a level 6 mutant beast. It was almost an existence that could do whatever it wanted on Chinyu Island. At this moment, Su Chen also understood. No wonder the Heavenly Overlord turtle cared so much about the Saint Beast tortoise. It turned out that it could advance by devouring its flesh and blood. Chapter 315. Su Chen was worried that he would disturb the Heavenly Overlord turtle and affect its advancement, so he closed the pet-raising space. Then, he looked at the screen again and began to look for the whereabouts of zombies and mutant beasts. At this time, Yang Lingtian came up and asked, Su Chen, are we still going to kill the mutant beasts in the Huangzi Mountains? Previously, thousands of mutant beasts had escaped into the Huangzi Mountains, which was not a small number. Don't worry about them. Let's go to other bases, Su Chen replied. The environment in the Huangzi Mountains was complicated, and the mutant beasts were good at escaping. It was almost impossible to kill all of them. However, there were no signs of zombies on the screen, so he decided to go to other bases to try his luck. Satoshi, let's go to Tianan. Su Chen ordered. Tianan used to be Golden File Shi's nest, so he guessed that there should be zombies there. Yes. The intelligent war chariot was activated and galloped toward the Tianan gathering place. In the following days, Su Chen and the others kept hunting zombies. It took them nearly half a month to kill all the large zombie hordes in the Huangzi Mountains of Chinyu Island. During this period, they killed more than 40 to 50,000 zombies. Su Chen's harvest was quite rich. He obtained a large number of energy stones and accumulated more than 5,000 energy points. On this day, after everyone had eaten, they gathered together and began to discuss. Su Chen, where are we going next? Wu Yang was the first to speak. There were no more zombies to kill in the Huangzi Mountains, so they had to find another place. For now, they had two places to go. One was to go to Yulin, and the other was to enter the sea to hunt sea monsters. Su Chen thought for a moment and replied, "Let's go to Yulin first." Yulin was not only the largest area in Qinyu Island, but it also had many forces, including many zombie legions and mutant beasts. In addition, he had conflicts with the Hidden Fog sect, Lion's Gate, and Tongtian City, so he wanted to meet them. Hearing that they were going to Yulin, everyone was excited. The Yulin region was prosperous and powerful, and there were more than 10 big cities with more than 100,000 people. As for the largest city, Tongtian City, it was a mega-city with a population of over 1 million people. It was said that all kinds of things were sold there, which aroused their great interest. They had long wanted to go and see it. After deciding on the plan, Su Chen looked at the terrain map on the central control screen. Yulin was not a place that could be casually entered. The reason was that outside the Yulin area, there was a circular mountain range called the Chulin Mountain Range. It was also because of the existence of the Winding Forest Mountain Range that Thousand Feather Island was divided into 3 parts. The Chulin Mountain Range was high and steep. It was not impossible to climb over it, but it would take a lot of effort. If they wanted to enter the Yulin Forest area without any effort, they could only go through a special passage. There were 2 passageways between Yulin District and Huanglin District, which were excavated by manpower. One of the closer ones was near Full Moon City. Su Chen found the specific location of the passage on the map. He reached out and ordered the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, go to this place." The intelligent war chariot locked onto the target and left. 5 days later, a towering mountain range appeared in front of the intelligent war chariot. This mountain range went from west to east, and there was no end in sight. It was the Chulin Mountain Range. Moreover, the place where the intelligent war chariot was located was less than 100 miles away from the passage into Yulin District. Su Chen glanced at the central control screen and then retracted his gaze. Just as he was about to rest for a while, an alarm sounded on the central control screen. "Warning, there is a MCV rushing towards us. It is estimated that we will encounter it in 2 minutes. Chapter 316. Satoshi, stop the car. Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed as he ordered. The other party came straight to him, and it seemed that they were not friendly. However, no matter who the other party was, as long as they dared to provoke him, they could only consider themselves unlucky. Soon, a red MCV sped over. "Yulin's MCV?" Su Chen muttered. The red MCV was 15 meters long, and there was a golden eagle logo on the front, which should belong to a certain force. He had never seen a MCV like this before, so he suspected that it came from Yulin. When the red MCV stopped in front of the intelligent chariot, more than 20 men with weapons got off. They were all wearing black uniforms, and all of them looked fierce, like bandits. The leader was a middle-aged man in his 40s with a goatee. After he looked at the intelligent chariot, he shouted, "The people inside, get out." Where did this idiot come from? How dare he yell in front of us? Is he tired of living? "Chingu, let me go down and teach this bastard a lesson." "Chingu, I'll go too." Seeing the other party being so arrogant, Yang Hao and the other 2 were a little angry, and they all asked Su Chen to fight. Su Chen smiled faintly. "Let's go down and see." He had seen a lot of arrogant people like this before, and they all ended up dying in his hands. He was not in a hurry to teach them a lesson, and it was better to find out the other party's background first. Opening the door, Su Chen slowly got out of the car. Yang Hao and the other 2 followed closely behind, and the others were left in the car by Su Chen. When he saw the 4 young people get out of the car, the man with the goatee was a little disdainful. "Everyone, what do you mean by stopping us? If you don't give me a reasonable explanation, you may be in trouble." Su Chen glanced at the other party and said faintly. Hearing this, the 20 people on the opposite side were stunned at first, and then they laughed wildly. "Boy, you are very arrogant. You dare to threaten us? Do you know who we are?" The goateed man stopped laughing, and his expression became somewhat unfriendly. Su Chen rubbed his nose and whispered, "I'd like to hear the details." The man with the goatee snorted and said proudly, "We are from the Golden Hawk Gang. Now do you know where we come from?" The Golden Hawk Triad was considered a third-rate power in Yulin. The strongest person in the triad was their leader, Jin Shuyang, who was a level 3 evolver. Su Chen learned about this from the old man from the Hidden Fog sect. "It's just a small gang." Su Chen curled his lips in disdain and continued, "Tell me why you're here. My time is precious and I don't want to waste it on ants like you." F***CK. You're F***King Cocky. Behind the man with the goatee, a young man pointed at Su Chen's nose and cursed. Everyone else also had an unfriendly look on their faces, as if they wanted to skin Su Chen alive. Although the Golden Hawk Gang was not in the top tier in Yulin, it was enough to be considered a tyrant in Huanglin. Su Chen, who came from Huanglin, dared to look down on the Golden Hawk Gang and treat them like ants. He was simply courting death. Now, they were only waiting for the man with the goatee to give the order, and then they would rush up and tear Su Chen apart. However, before they could act, the young man who had cursed Su Chen just now had his head inexplicably exploded. He did not even know how he died. What was going on? How did he die? Who did it? Facing such a strange situation, the man with the goatee and the others were terrified. They opened their eyes wide and kept looking around. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said lightly, "Don't look, I killed him." Chapter 317. You killed him? The man with the goatee was shocked and looked at Su Chen in a daze. Just now, he had been watching Su Chen and did not see Su Chen make any movements. Then how did Su Chen kill his men? Was he pretending? Or was he deliberately mystifying? Or did he really have a way to kill people without being noticed? The man with the goatee could not make up his mind and was stunned on the spot. You think you can kill him? Shameless boasting. Let me see what you're made of. A rough man behind the man with the goatee scoffed at Su Chen's words and rushed towards Su Chen with a knife. Although he was a little frightened by his companion's death, he did not believe that it was Su Chen who did it. Go to hell! The rough man roared. He thought that he could kill Su Chen with one knife with his strength as a level 2 evolver. However, he had just rushed in front of Su Chen, and before he could slash down, his head exploded into a flower of blood. Hiss! Seeing this, the man with the goatee and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. One person's head exploding could be said to be an accident, but 2 people in a row was definitely not simple. This also meant that Su Chen was not boasting, he really had the ability to kill people without being noticed. You are a spirit reader. The man with the goatee suddenly thought of something and exclaimed. The spirit power released by a spirit reader was invisible and could indeed kill people without being noticed. Moreover, to easily kill a level 2 evolver, one must be at least a level 3 spirit reader master. Thinking of this, the man with the goatee felt a chill down his spine. The other people's faces also changed as they looked at Su Chen with indescribable horror. Level 3 spirit readers were very rare even in Yulin. It could even be said that they could be counted on one hand. Every single one of them had great power, and they were definitely not people that the small fry of a third-rate gang like them could afford to offend. Senior, we have eyes but did not recognize Mount Tai. Please don't lower yourself to our level. The man with the goatee's attitude took a 180-degree turn and his attitude was very humble. He was very clear that his previous actions had angered Su Chen. If he did not make up for it in time, he would not be able to survive today. Tell me why you stopped us? Su Chen asked calmly. The other party stopped him for no reason. What was their intention? This made him somewhat unable to guess. Senior, we want to ask you about a person's whereabouts? The man with the goatee hurriedly replied. Asking for information can bully the weak? Is this how the Golden Hawk Gang conducts themselves? Su Chen snorted coldly. Seeing that Su Chen was angry, Goatee and the others kept quiet out of fear. At the same time, their hearts were filled with regret. All along, the Golden Eagle Gang was this unscrupulous. Originally, they still thought that Su Chen was a soft persimmon that could be kneaded at will. Who would have thought that they would kick an iron plate? If they had known that Su Chen was a hidden level 3 spirit reader, they would have avoided him. Who would have come to touch this bad luck? Who are you asking about? Su Chen asked in a low voice. Senior, we are looking for this person. As the man with the goatee spoke, he took out a scroll. After opening it, a graceful and beautiful woman appeared. Su Chen felt that the woman in the scroll was somewhat familiar. After looking at it carefully, he suddenly remembered. A few days ago, on the way to Full Moon City, he encountered people from Lion's Gate. Among them, the beautiful woman was the person in the scroll. What is her name? Is she also from the Golden Eagle gang? Su Chen asked. The beautiful woman died in his hands, and this formed a grudge with the power behind her. To prevent any accidents, he had to figure out the other party's background. Chapter 318. Her name is Emotsilian. She's not a member of the Golden Hawk gang. She's from the Qilin Mountain, Goatee replied honestly. Qilin Mountain? Su Chen muttered as he tried to recall. That day, the elder from the Hidden Fog sect had told him about all the big and small factions in Yulin, but he didn't mention Qilin Mountain. Did the elder not know about Qilin Mountain? Or was Goatee just making things up? What's the background of Qilin Mountain? Su Chen stared at Goatee and asked coldly. Goatee hesitated, but under Su Chen's stare, he gritted his teeth and said, Senior, Qilin Mountain is a hidden sect. It's one of the top 3 factions in Yulin. Su Chen was stunned and asked casually, what are the other 2 factions called? Forget Worry Valley and Tianqi Mountain. Goatee didn't hesitate this time. Su Chen frowned. He remembered that the elder from the Hidden Fog sect had said that the top 3 factions in Yulin were the Hidden Fog sect, Lion's Gate, and Tongtian City. How did it become the other 3 factions in Goatee's mouth? Who was lying between the 2 of them? Then what's the ranking of Heaven Connecting City in the Yulin region? Su Chen probed without batting an eyelid. Tongtian City is one of the strongest factions in Yulin on the surface, but it's just a subsidiary faction of Qilin Mountain, Goatee explained. Su Chen's expression changed, and his thoughts started to turn. Tongtian City had a level 4 evolver, and there were many evolvers below level 4. They weren't weak, but they were just a subsidiary faction. How strong was Qilin Mountain? What's the cultivation of the strongest person in Qilin Mountain? Su Chen asked again. Recently, he had killed many people from Heaven Connect City and had formed a deep enmity with them. This trip to Yulin might cause a bloodbath in Tongtian City. Would Qilin Mountain sit by and do nothing? The answer was obvious. Qilin Mountain would definitely support Tongtian City, and it would be another bloody battle. Therefore, he needed to understand the ins and outs of the Qilin Mountain in advance so that he could be prepared. There was also another point. That day at the Fire Wolf gathering place, he had learned from a level 4 evolver of Heaven Connect City that Heaven Connect City was trying to open a domain passage. It was hard to say whether or not the Qilin Mountain was behind this. The strongest person in Qilin Mountain is a level 5 evolver, and there is more than one of them. Goatee spoke while secretly observing Su Chen's expression. Originally, he thought that Su Chen would still be afraid of revealing the name of a level 5 evolved being. However, he realized that Su Chen was indifferent from the beginning to the end. It was as if Su Chen did not care about a level 5 evolver at all. Goatee was a bit puzzled. Level 5 evolvers were legendary existences. Every one of them had the power to destroy a city. Why wasn't Su Chen afraid? Level 5 evolvers were invincible in the eyes of others, but Su Chen could easily kill a level 5 holy tortoise, let alone a human of the same level. So, there are also level 5 evolvers in Wangyu Valley and Tianqi Mountain? Su Chen asked. Yes, Goatee replied affirmatively. Su Chen thought for a moment and said again, how did you know about this? Tell me the truth, or don't blame me for being rude. He was a bit puzzled. Why would a weak Golden Hawk gang member know about something that even the elder of the Hidden Fog sect did not know? Our leader came from the Qilin Mountain. He told us about this before. Goatee was in fear and trepidation. Suchin nodded slightly. Then he asked about some other things and killed everyone from the Golden Hawk gang. Chapter 319. Behind them, Su Chen and the other three returned to the car, and the intelligent war chariot continued to drive towards the tunnel. After more than half an hour, they arrived at the foot of the mountain, which was the entrance to the tunnel into Yulin. It was not a casual matter to enter and leave the Yulin forest. In addition to having their identity verified, they also had to pay a considerable toll. At this time, outside the entrance of the passage, dozens of soldiers in armor were checking the MCVs that were entering the passage. There were 7 MCV in front of the intelligent war chariot, and they were being checked in an orderly and unstable manner. After the 7 vehicles were checked and the toll was paid, they entered the tunnel one by one. When it was the intelligent war chariot's turn, a black MCV suddenly cut in from the side, blocking the front of the intelligent war chariot. Cutting in line was a very rude behavior. Suchin was naturally unhappy. He got out of the car and shouted at the people in the black MCV, "Do you have any manners? Everyone is in line. What right do you have to cut in line?" Soon, a middle-aged man in white came down from the black MCV. After glancing at Suchin, he did not say anything to Suchin. He turned to the guard and talked to a few soldiers, then returned to the MCV. Before leaving, he looked at Suchin again, his eyes full of disdain and ridicule. "Damn, this guy is a bit pretentious." Suchin curled his lips. When he was about to go up and argue, a gray-haired old man came from behind. He came to Suchin's side and kindly reminded him, "Little brother, that's a MCV from Tongtian City. You'd better not provoke them." "A MCV from Tongtian City cannot follow the rules?" Suchin snorted softly. The gray-haired old man shook his head and persuaded, "Little brother, you're not from Yulin, right? Maybe you don't know how powerful Tongtian City is. I advise you not to enter Yulin today, lest you get killed." "Thank you for the reminder, old man, but I still want to enter Yulin," Suchin said indifferently. He didn't even put the powerhouses of Sky-reaching City in his eyes, let alone the people on the MCV. He couldn't wait for them to find trouble with him. "Boy, it's your turn. Hurry up." At this moment, a guard shouted at Suchin. Suchin didn't argue with the guard and let the intelligent war chariot drive closer. The guard circled around the intelligent war chariot and did not ask about Suchin's background. Instead, he directly asked for energy stones from Suchin. "Your MCV is bigger than the average MCV, so the charge is higher." "How much?" Suchin narrowed his eyes. 300 ordinary energy stones. "Scram if you can't hand it over." The guard snorted. "You really dare to demand an exorbitant price?" Suchin laughed instead of getting angry. The entrance fee to the tunnel was 100 energy stones per MCV, and all the other MCVs had to pay 100 energy stones. When it was his turn, the price had increased to 300, which was obviously extorting him. Suchin still remembered that when he first went to King Kong City, the guard there also wanted to take the opportunity to extort him. However, the price he paid was extremely painful. He didn't want to cause trouble, but if the other party really didn't know what was good for him, then he could only teach them a lesson. "Why didn't I pay for the previous MCV?" Suchin snorted coldly. Just now, the man in white from Tongtian City had only exchanged a few words with the guard and was let go without paying a single energy stone. If it were someone else, they would never ask about this matter. But in Suchin's eyes, there was no way he could rub sand. Did they want to treat him as a pushover? They had to have the ability to do so. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.